Oh, welcome, Kayla, to the green room. Can you hear the jazz okay? I hope so.
Hey, there's Kayla. On my screen.
Oh, I've had her here for a while. Oh, no. Do you mean the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This one, I've got a lot to talk about with this one. Oh, my God. It's going to be the longest show ever. Got some things to plug that I have to remember. Yeah, I think I've got two Kayla slides. One where she's dreaming about a dinosaur, and the other where she is a superhero.
Ooh.
Heroine.
Jazz is
Super
good and
person.
Smooth.
Nice. You know, jazz gets a bad rap, but I love this shit. From this, I mean, obviously there's some bad stuff, like the cheesy stuff, like the Kenny G type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this sort of stuff, all the way to like the really experimental stuff, or like the old timey ragtime or bebop or any of that shit, I think it gets a bad rap because everybody hears like the elevator music and they go, "Oh, that's jazz." So they go to their dentist's office and they go, "That's jazz."
Yeah. That's jazz.
I was trying to make collector cards for all the lemon-based superheroes too. I was only able to make 3 before I had to stop what I was doing and
Work.
leave. My little toad on his skateboard, though, I think is adorable. Little picture of himself. Oh, the bingo cards are still Halloween themed, too. That's funny.
Oh, yep.
You've got to... I mean, this, maybe not. You wouldn't just dive into this because this is like coffee house stuff. This is definitely background music. That's the thing. It fits into a lot of situations, but jazz guitar is one of my favorites. And Al Di Meola, I brought up before. Elegant Gypsy, Electric Rendezvous. Those are 2 of my favorite albums. Then he went all weird in the 70s.
I love the ones where Elliot's just sprawled out on the ground.
Yeah. I was, scavenging through my phone for usable assets, and there he was.
For some reason, the lemonade stuff makes me think of the non-violent Itchy and Scratchy cartoon.
Lemonade. Please. Yeah, okay. That's a weird vibe, but yeah, I kind of see where you're going.
But Chuggington.
His mightiest foe is the manager of Total Wine. That's my, you're, depending on where you're at, Krista, you're not going to see it, but my burgers, bottles, and boogers is my Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives parody. Because I wanted to have something fresh for the kids to laugh at.
Right.
And nothing's fresher than Guy Fieri right now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hot and fresh like a Domino's Hot and Ready or a Little Caesars. I forget who does that shit.
Little Caesars, I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Not enough pepperoni, I complained to them. And they said, shut up, it's only $5.
The American Dad episode with Guy Fieri is pretty good. About Guy Fieri, I should say.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just talking about relevancy.
Oh, no, he's not relevant now, but...
Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, it's fine as a social and cultural concept, but...
Yeah.
There's my Hobo and the Hooker poster. Got a couple of those. Bam! That's the wrong chef.
Is he even a chef?
Fieri was always going to Flavortown. Yeah, what's his name? Emeril Lagasse.
No, I mean Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
A chef.
Right, he has to be.
I thought
How
he
else
just
would you
ate
get on the
things.
Food Network?
By eating things?
No,
and being
like that's
this...
the Travel Channel. Like Man
the
vs.
Flavor
Food or Zamern when he would go eat weird shit. That was all in the Travel Channel. If you're on the Food Network, like I feel like you have to have some cooking credibility.
Yeah, he probably hires cooks for his restaurants.
Right, but he had to get there somehow. I mean, obviously he doesn't have any restaurants, right? It'd be like a fucking Famous Dave's barbecue, if anything.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. That is not what is happening. All right, we're about ready to start.
Don't say Guy Fieri isn't relevant. You don't know if he's watching. Dave's right. What's right?
About what? It's just vague enough to be confusing, Joe.
Guy Fieri is a chef? Is that what
Oh,
you're
yeah,
referring to?
probably. I mean, plus I'm always right, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. I hope everybody gets their bingo cards, the pinned comment. We'll talk about it later. Here we go.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave, and this is FFOP TV or radio, and it's a live thing we're doing on Friday. It's Flamingo Friday. I've got a lot of stuff that I need to get out of the way first and foremost. Otherwise, I'm going to forget it. Thank you for joining. But here's the thing. Slothfist, the house band that you just heard, released their their latest album, Bombs Away. It's got Face Off on it. The song about the movie Face Off. It is a fucking face melter. And I can't pull it out because it's in a sleeve, but it's a beautiful color too. I've got to supplement my Mothman is Real album, but I'm super excited. So Mind Power Records, if you want to pick one of those up, it's so fun. I can't wait to hang it up. So that's number one. I guess that's most important thing that I needed to get out of the way. You got your bingo cards. I hope the pinned comment will get you there. We're doing Federico Gondola. So this cat's story, here's the thing. I don't want to spoil anything because the interrogation pretty much lays out his entire life. But you know, we're back in Osceola County, Florida. The main detective, who he's one of my favorites. Let me get him pulled over here in a little window. So he's the guy in the little orange shirt. I've seen him in a few interrogations, and he is one of my favorite interrogation characters. Working today, he is. I mean, we'll get to it, and it's super long. It's an hour and 22 minutes of raw footage, and so God knows how long it's gonna be with me talking over it. But let's get this thing wound up. And again, I've said this online and social media and stuff, but this is the interrogation that gave me the idea for interrogation bingo, because the cliches in this one are so thick. A couple of them won't apply, and we'll get to it. But yeah, it's a wild ride, and
Maybe we'll get a bingo winner.
I'm sure we will, because again, this is the one that got me to be like, oh, we should do a bingo thing, because he fucking nails all of them just about. So here we go.
TL says nice Flamingo Friday shirt.
Thank you. Oh, that's another thing. It's from Blue Dot Crime Interrogations YouTube channel. I watch a lot of their stuff, along with Susan Bond's and Red Circle Interrogations and Across the Table. But anyway, the moral of the story is this is Blue Dot is where we're coming from, and I appreciate their channel because they get a lot of these interrogations. So here we go.
See, we don't have any no pencils or pads.
So the first thing I want to point out, I know we just started, but look at this man, right? He is shackled. He's got a leather belt, and he is like down there. So something we can already assume something serious has happened. And I think it's funny that they start breaking the ice by being like, hey, we don't use pencils or pens. We don't use any paper.
So there's a picture-in-picture in this video?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Move the logo
Yeah,
over.
well, cause, yeah, so oops. The interrogations often have two cameras. And I don't want to cover up that one because it's a nice. And okay, so another thing that's crazy about that you bring that up, and you'll see it. I don't know why. Every time there's a picture-in-picture like this where there's two cameras in one interrogation room, they're always off by like 3 seconds.
Oh, that's annoying.
So I don't know why that is, but it is like that everywhere. So it must be. I have to think it's on purpose. But here we go.
Maybe if they catch something.
With this, I'm just gonna record this. if there's anything that needs to be checked out,
Look
maybe
how
if I
off it
say
is already.
something that you don't agree with, we can always go back and rewind that and make sure. It saves from us having to have paper and pen.
Okay.
Sometimes you can't follow what people are saying.
Look how casually he is taking a sip of water in front of two detectives. He's having to use two hands, and he's just like, oh yeah, totally cool. Like he's at a party.
Yeah, and like that belt's around his waist. Like,
Like, that's the thing. A lot of dudes roll into interrogations like this, and they think, oh, if I just act super cash,
it's totally fine.
I'll seem innocent. But like, dude, if you aren't guilty of something and someone drags you from your house, the street, a store, anywhere, and puts you in a getup like this, you're gonna be fucking flipping a conniption fit.
Yeah.
Unless you're guilty, in which case you're gonna sit there, act calm, and drink your water.
When you're too busy trying to write something down. So, before we start, I'm just looking at your background. So, this isn't your first time that you've ever talked to the police, correct?
No.
So you know how the system works. We have to read you your Miranda rights
Miranda,
for the whole process.
Okay.
Okay?
It's a whole process. Here's the bummer about this, because obviously we're going to not get some things on the bingo card. Obviously, he's not free to go. We're not going to get that one. And as you can see, he's not going to dismiss the Miranda as paperwork, nor is he going to do his housekeeping, but he's just going to say, you know what, you've been through this before. It's part of the system. No even need to sidestep it, right? Hello, he's in a fucking, like, Hannibal Lecter belt.
Understand Miranda?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read it anyway. If you have any questions on it, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Okay?
Speaking of that, I've watched, a lot of these. What question could you ask? Number one. And number two, like when you're in this situation, these things do not leave anything to the imagination. It's like if you don't want to talk, you don't have to. I've never, unless the question is, I need a lawyer, or can you get me a lawyer, or something like that. It's like, is there anything that needs to be clarified? No. Like it's so bald in its language, but they always have to be like, hey, let me touch base with you on this.
You got this.
Do you know what silent means?
You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are entitled to talk to a lawyer before and during question. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one will be provided before questioning without charge. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding the Miranda rights?
No.
Real quick, too.
No.
So, obviously, dude's been doing it a long time. They all have. I have Miranda memorized. I'm not a cop. I don't have years under my belt that I can flaunt to a suspect, and I know Miranda. And like, I don't have to say it to anybody. I just know it through my recreational activities. I'm not having to read it to people constantly. So why is it that he has to pull the card out, I wonder?
They all do, and I don't understand. Maybe it's their protocol. Maybe they have to do it so they don't think that they're making it up.
Okay, so sometimes they'll pull out the card or a piece of paper and read it, and I get that because they'll make them sign it.
Yeah.
He doesn't sign anything. Like he doesn't like with Chandler Halderson or Christopher Fosmer or any of these other interrogations out there. We say, okay, can you just initial this card saying that we read you this aloud? Like, and that's like the softest way to put that, right? You're signing away your rights, and it's like just acknowledge I read it aloud.
I don't even have Carmen Miranda memorized.
That's crazy. What up, Tony? I'm glad you're
Tony.
here.
You familiar with where you are right now?
No.
Okay, so you're in Osceola County Sheriff's Office. This is our administration building.
Okay.
This is where our offices are.
Okay.
How far did they take
Today's
him?
Sunday,
Not very far.
and I know you said it was early for you,
Dang.
so it is.
Okay, here's the thing that ding reminds me of a pet peeve of mine. It took us, like 10 years to, as a society, come together and be like, oh yeah, shut your fucking phone off in a movie theater. To this day, cops will leave their ringers on full volume. And like, here's the thing. They're using them constantly because they're texting like other people in the department or whatever. So I understand why they are using their phones a lot in interrogations now, because instead of having to leave the room, they can just look at it and voila, because it's being watched from outside also. But at the very least, put on fucking vibrate. Like, all the dings and the songs and all the old dude, like, butt rock that I've heard because they won't turn their fucking phones on at least vibrate or silent. And keep in mind, you know you're in an interrogation. You're going to have that phone in your hand, so keep looking at it.
Right.
I'm complaining as if I'm like get to sit behind these people in a theater and watch an interrogation. But seriously, it's also distracting to someone as a suspect, because if you're having to constantly break flow by hearing these loud ass like ding,
Maybe
like,
that's why they do it.
it would just like you're trying to build rapport, and if you can't even pay attention to the person, there's no rapport. It like any like a conversation with a friend, if they're constantly looking at their phone because it's constantly making noise, like how much do you want to open up to them?
Yeah.
Not much, right?
No. Kayla says the ding makes me think of popcorn ready in the microwave.
Yeah.
Old dude.
Are you normally up at this time?
Depends, because my girlfriend's schedule.
Oh,
It's crazy. She works at a dialysis center, so sometimes if she has to open, we have to be up at 2, start getting ready, get her up there. Yeah, so.
Another pet peeve of mine: general questions answered with general answers. Like when he says, "Do you usually get up this early?" And he's like, "It depends." What usually, bitch? Like, do you have a job? I hate it. Like, I understand this is like immediately annoying and needling the subject. But like, when you're trying to get a feel for someone, even if it's like a casual conversation with someone you're trying to meet, it's incredibly difficult when people answer like, like the vocal equivalent of a shrug. I understand why he's doing it here because he's look at him. But still, it's
Like, how early is it? It's
Mixed
6:37.
6 in the morning.
That's not that.
All right, so you said that you kind of had an idea, right, why we're here?
Yeah, the guy called me. He was asking me a lot of questions.
So who's the guy that called you? You said someone called you.
It was a detective Ortiz, if I'm not mistaken.
And what was your conversation with him?
Okay, so let's call this a bingo, because why do you think you're here is essentially what was just asked. I was morally and internally grappling with it, but give yourself a hash mark for that. Why do you think we're here? Because yeah, obviously it's 6:30 on a Sunday morning. Why do you think you're here, dude? I got a call from a guy. Oh, really? Nice story. That's why we hauled your ass to a police station in a Hannibal Lecter belt? Yeah, I got a call. It's against the
He was
law.
asking me a couple of questions about a guy I know that I provided service for, and that was it.
What did he ask you?
If I was in Florida, if I knew if he had hatred towards somebody or something like that, or if he had any upgoing issues, and who was in charge of the home and things like that.
All right, let's go back a little bit then. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Way off.
Real quick, he's doing an interesting job with rapport building, because usually you start out with all the trappings and the bullshit, like where are you from, family, yada yada yada. But he started out, and obviously the elephant in the room is what you're doing here, and the fact that I understand why he's doing it, because another thing that a lot of people in these true crime communities will point to is like the flip-flop of like the high pressure questions and the low pressure stuff. It's for mental fatigue and stuff, but it's another indicator of like, if you're being accused of something that you are legitimately innocent of and therefore oblivious to, a rapid change in topic like that, you'd be like, no, let's keep talking about the fact that I didn't do whatever you think it is. Let's not talk about my childhood or how many A's I got in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's weird, but it's something that it just slides by.
Bars.
Where are you from originally?
Panama.
From Panama?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Different places. My father was military. I lived in El Paso, Texas on a military base, Georgia, New York, Jersey.
Oh, what part of New York?
Queens.
Oh.
What part of Jersey?
We stayed in, it was West Berlin, and then we stayed in Somerdale.
said Queens.
Yeah, Queensford, New York.
Okay. How long you been in Florida?
Phew. They got here before me. I got here maybe 2015.
So even though nothing has been broached already, right, like verbally, the situation is pretty dire for Rico here. And so he's taking every last second he can in every question that is not related to why he is sitting here right now. Because you can see in these are very obvious questions, or rather easy, I guess obvious to remember, but easy to remember as well, questions. It's like, this is your personal history. They should not be preceded by and then the 30-second silence as you stare off in the middle distance. It's your life. But he's trying to keep it as low pressure as long as he can, knowing that at the end of this, there's a tooth that's got to be pulled metaphorically.
Mm.
Oh, so you only been out here 3 years?
Yeah, I haven't been out here long.
Okay. So what do you do for a living?
Right now, we're trying to get this home appliance service going, me and my father, and that's what we do right now.
Just so it's just not just labor, nothing, you don't like what's the word I'm looking for? I like a particular thing, a particular field, specialize.
Well, computers, electronics, and home appliances. We advertise HVAC, but I don't do HVAC, so it's just...
Who does HVAC then?
My father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
at least somebody's doing it.
Yeah.
At
Your
least
father's
somebody.
here as well.
Yes. In Haines City, where I really stay at, like my home.
Oh, so you live in Haines City, but you've been staying with your girlfriend
Yeah.
until she gets her license situation fixed?
Yeah.
Okay. So, no job really. Working for yourselves, independent.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a dig. I realize it's probably not intentional, but it's a dig by the detective because
Yeah.
they're self-employed, and to be like, hey, no job, right? Like, you've got no job. Like you just said, he works with his dad.
Right.
Like, they're self-employed. But who cares? He doesn't mean anything by it, obviously. But like, he's usually, and you'll see as we go on, he's a pretty competent dude. But I feel like, because he yawns a lot during this interrogation, it feels a little clumsy, only because I feel like he doesn't get up this early usually either. I don't know why they had to bust him so early. I don't know the context of that. I know a lot about this, but I don't know that. I don't know why they picked him up so goddamn early that now they're like having to stumble, like sleepwalk through this interrogation. But it just feels like it's a misstep when you're trying to build rapport to be like, so you've got really like what? Nothing? Cool.
So you just stay at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, was taking calls for different companies like Barrister, the military company and all that, but
Which is wild.
nothing as far as just like I'm with them independently. No.
How do you advertise?
Online, flyers if I can, cards, word of mouth is actually the biggest thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So, going back to this conversation you had with that detective, who was this guy he was asking you about?
Mr. Roosevelt.
Mr. Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Who's he?
Guy I provide service for.
Okay, a little bit of context, because I did not find this out until like recently. Mr. Roosevelt would imply that his last name is Roosevelt, right? It's not.
Yeah.
That's his first name.
Oh.
Like their last name is Dixon or something.
Oh.
The couple that who the crime was committed against, I'm not going to spoil it yet. Their last name is like Dixon. So it's Roosevelt and what's her name? Dixon. But they call her Mrs. Roosevelt and Mr. Roosevelt. So I don't, if you want to look up this case later, because it's an interesting one, don't look under Mr. Roosevelt. His name is Dixon or whatever.
Oh, shit. What kind of service? I mean, that's
Well, with him, it was always something different. His computer's messed up, or his wife's laptop is, something, or whatever, really. I would say his microwave, whatever.
how'd you end up meeting him?
Could have been word of mouth. This was a while ago. When I originally first got out here, I was talking to so much people trying to get, things off the ground. It would either have to be a flyer or word of mouth.
So how long you been working for?
Off and on.
Sleepy detective.
I probably met him when I first came down here too. So I really don't know like exactly how much times I've worked for him, but it's been off and on, spread out throughout the years. Yeah.
As many times as I've watched this, I still cannot get over his syntax. His like misuse of words and like the tenses and stuff. It drives me a little crazy, and I wanted to call your attention to that in case you're missing it.
You know what's driving me crazy? The damn light switch. I don't know why, but it's bothering me because the door was on the other side. Why is there a light switch all the way across the
That's
room?
a microphone.
It looks like a light switch. It's a light switch. It looks like. From
No,
here.
it's not. Like, this place is wired for... that's why it's so overdriven, because the microphone is right there. When he bangs on the wall, you'll be able to hear it later.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
Like, why? Yeah, why would there be a light switch?
I know. That's why I was
40,
like, oh my
right.
God, why is there a light
way
switch
against
there?
code. As a former electrician, that's not how that shit goes.
It's 6:30 in Florida, which makes it 4:30 here. So yeah, that's early.
Yeah, yeah, it's like 2 a.m. back there.
After the years, you've kind of been going over there and computer work and microwave and.
I helped him out with, I was trying to help him out with the CVS thing, but I told him that, you know, he's trying to get pictures produced, and he's not able to because they look professionally taken, they said. And you need something from the photographer.
So here's the thing. I have no idea what the fuck he is talking about. I've watched this. I've tried to parse it from context clues. I don't know what the fuck he is talking about. He's talking about the guy in question producing some pictures. What does that mean? But Walgreens won't do it because they look professionally taken. And, like, not for nothing, it means nothing. So I understand why detective here is going to ask any follow-up questions about it because it's fucking nonsense. But, like, what is going through his mind when he's like, he wanted to do some pictures? And, like, again, it wouldn't, as we're sitting here watching it, whatever time you're watching, it doesn't feel farcical because you're sitting here relaxed and it's on your own time. But keep in mind, this is 6:30 a.m. on a Sunday. And this is what's going on.
And he's in shackles.
And he's in shackles.
Themselves in order to be able to print those photos.
So he paid you for all these things, correct?
Yeah,
How did he pay you?
cash, always cash. Yeah,
Always cash?
$10 cash.
Cheddar.
25, 35 bucks for the call.
So nothing huge.
Oh, no major repairs or anything like that, no.
Did you ever meet his wife?
Yeah.
She lives there.
And she, same thing, she would have you do things
Well,
too?
her, I only looked at her laptop. And him, he more than like, you know, he mostly wanted whatever it may have been.
How was he as a guy though, man, as far as paying
Nice
you
one,
and stuff like that? Was he good or,
Oh yeah, he was fine.
okay, no issues with him paying you?
Oh, never. Mm-mm.
When was the last time you saw him?
I had an appointment with him. Man, if you can speak to Ortiz, because I don't have my phone on me, but if you can speak to him, he knows the exact dates. I gave him the dates because I was actually able to look at my message stream at the time.
Real quick, the Ortiz he is speaking of is the detective who called him that this detective referred to that gave him the information that neither of them have broached yet, which is making this interaction completely absurd. We've been sitting here, he's been in this chair, hands like this, almost 10 minutes, and they have not broached the subject of why he is sitting there in the morning in a police station.
I'm going to say it was the 19th of June.
Okay.
And I also spoke to him on the 1st or 2nd of July. I was letting him know that I'm not going to be available, you know, the 4th coming up. And I usually do that with anybody that, you know, calls me for service.
That feels weird to me because obviously a lot of maybe handyman, maybe it's different for handyman, but I feel like everybody would take the 4th of July off, right?
Well, and why preemptively call people that aren't asking for your service yet?
Right. Like, because he's like, again, we've heard him say like they've known each other for like 5 years and he's been to the house like 5 or 6 times, whatever, less than a dozen. So in the 5 years, why would you be like, hey, 4th of July's coming up just in case, like strangers in the night, it's been 18 months, but if something breaks, just know you're fucked because I'm watching the fireworks.
Yeah.
It's
Catch
just
me the
like
next day.
he's an oversharer, but because like the more details to a story, the more believable it seems. So I get why people do it. Unless you're also someone who has diarrhea of the mouth like me, in which case I probably seem like I'm lying all the time.
It was a general reach out to him just to let him know.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I even left a voicemail for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did it using your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay. So you heard what happened to him, right?
No.
No?
You hear what happened to him? No. Keep that in mind. That was a lie.
Everybody keeps telling me about the incident.
What are they telling you?
Ortiz said there was an incident. Have I heard something? I caught that. He said, have you heard of an incident in the last few weeks? And I said, no. And I said, is everything okay, you know? He said he's sorry to tell me that he passed away.
Well, I'll be damned, he's dead? Wait, a murder is involved, and I've been sitting here for 10 minutes and we've been dancing around it? Are you kidding? And, okay, so here's, real quick, that string of words was insane. But as he goes, you know, he kept mentioning the incident, and I caught that. Like, he's on the phone with a homicide detective, and he's like, I caught. It was like, yeah, buried within, like, his word salad. Have you heard about the incident? Whoa, I pulled out that you said the word incident. I caught that. He passed away. So imagine being in this situation where now we know a murder is involved. Spoiler alert, too. And sitting here and you're talking about the people you're fresh off of murdering and trying to keep up this small talk for 10 minutes, like waiting, just like imagine just waiting because you know why you're here. They know why you're here, but you don't want to broach the subject because obviously you're a murderer.
Yeah.
So you're sitting here being led down this path, just waiting for them to say why you're here and then having to be like, huh?
I didn't do it.
And
No, he did. He passed away.
Huh?
No, he did. He passed away.
Yeah, I got that, but the question...
I got that. Somehow I picked up on that too. My instincts picked up the fact that I heard the word incident. And then when he said that he died, I heard it and internalized it. I got that.
But I
It
said
seemed
no.
kind of weird,
That
though.
I didn't hear.
Because he asked me if I knew of anybody he may have had
But
a problem with.
that's a general question that we
Right.
ask every single person that we
Really?
talk to who ever associated with someone. We always ask that because we don't know.
Okay, the thing about Rico here is like, obviously he's on the outside, he's very cool. But what's happening here is he is so juiced up and jacked internally, like his adrenal glands must be like filling him to the brim because fight or flight is taking over. And the reason why I'm saying that is because even though he is holding very still and seeming very chill, not a second passes when the detective's mouth closes, like even during a string of sentences, he'll fill every silence with a quick because he is really now hyper focused on the threat, which is the detective. He is, look at him as we're seeing him right now. That is eye contact. He has identified him like the murder has been broached. He is now a threat, and the instincts of the olden days are kicking in. So the detective is now a saber-toothed cat, and poor Rico here is a caveman who is now stepped into the wrong spot.
Well, and he, you know, the way he's like, really? You don't? Yeah, like, you're in shackles.
Right, but you have to keep in everybody's mind who is in this position, as long as you keep like, what? No way. Like that. Maybe, again, you know, hope springs eternal for a lot of stuff, but I feel like in a lot of these guys' minds, like at the end of this, like, I don't know, rainbow, they just stand up, like the detective brushes off their clothes and they go, hey, thanks for coming down, and grab a donut on the way out. What?
Know that person.
No.
But that person we're asking may know of something. So it's just a general question that we ask.
Okay.
So because I wasn't
I
there,
don't believe you.
what was your answer?
Because I
I
wasn't
told him
there.
no.
No?
Yeah, I told him no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was kind of asking me questions that I really couldn't help with.
Hey, so just, I'm sorry, let me shift this back, because I was asking you, that's your girlfriend's house out there, right? I saw a bunch of cars in that driveway.
3 vehicles.
Whose vehicles are those?
Real quick, we're talking about the vehicles, like who cares? Basically, everything he asks up front here is going to pay off in the latter half because in a lot of these interrogations, they have to establish and reestablish all the players and pieces. If there's a phone involved, they have to ask if anyone has access to it, if anyone knows the passcode, because there's plausible deniability and being like, well, so-and-so did yada yada. I lent my car to such and such. So maybe that should be on the bingo thing too, is like they have to verify that, like with Sarah Boone, anybody touch your phone? This guy, any other cars?
Yeah.
Would anybody have borrowed it? And, because people are instinctively protective of their stuff. So they say, no. Like, I'm very, my phone, my car. No one else touches it. And they go, oh, good. Because they was involved in the murder. And they go, what?
All right, so her brother is currently staying with her, his wife, and his kids. He has a minivan and a white Ford Explorer. The black vehicle, the Camry, and the red Ford Explorer is my girlfriend's. Her black vehicle, it's not really usable, so she's using the red vehicle.
It's a peculiarity of this family, too. Is like everybody's got 2 vehicles, but only one works.
Yeah, and he said 3 cars, and that was 4.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't get a solid read on how many people are in this house or how many vehicles there are, because God knows, because he'll bring up more as time goes on. But, it conjures to mind, we've all lived in a neighborhood like that, right? Where every inch of the street is covered in everybody's cars.
Yeah.
Annoying is the
And
problem.
that's all the vehicles there. Oh, and the other vehicle is my sister. She's there babysitting.
5
Because
cars.
her brother
Jesus.
and his brother's wife are boating or, whatever they do on a boat.
Okay. So none of those vehicles there were yours?
No.
Have you ever used any of those vehicles?
Just to take my girlfriend to work and back.
Which one?
The red one.
Which I believe was over there in the driveway.
Yes, right in the drive, yeah.
Okay. So do you own a vehicle?
No.
So you said that black one is not running right now.
And no, it's not. It's on 3 cylinders, no AC, might shut off. Yeah, it's not a usable vehicle.
So how are you getting around before?
Oh, well, I was using a van. It's my father's van, really, but we use that van for, service calls or whoever's going to go out, and we mix between that van. My sister has her car, my mother has her car, so me and my dad was just using that.
Okay.
Until something happened to the transmission. So, yeah.
Then
So
what?
do me a favor. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. You said that recently you started staying with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, recent? What's that?
All right, so technically we're supposed to be living together, but we're together for 4 months. It's
All the interpersonal shit is so ridiculous. Hey man, you know how it is. You get with a girl and things are serious. You're not quite sure, but you still live at home with apparently 45 other fucking people. And there's 40 cars. Your life is complicated. You're looking to fix things here in Florida.
kind of
crazy.
soon, so I still have stuff at my parents' home right now, and it's a tricky situation there.
Dude's in his
Ow.
30s. Dude's in his 30s. Still got shit at home.
It's a tricky situation.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get with her full time because what if something better comes along?
Yeah, he wants
or
to be able to
something?
go home.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you want to shoot up when you're Federico Gondola, a dude now in prison But you know, you owned your own business out of a minivan with your dad. So yeah, of course. Why would you want to nail that down to anybody when you could write your own ticket on Wall Street?
You ain't ready to commit this to
I am, but you just never know, you know, it's how it'll go, you know? So.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
That it just always that sort of sentiment always reads to me is like, what if I find something better? Like, you know, I'm sure in his mind, and everybody who's ever said this is mine goes, I want to make sure that if they go crazy, I can pull out really quick. But it always feels like that's like their head motions make me feel like, oh, just in case she's crazy. But I'm sure like behind their eyes and what you're hearing in their monologue is like, what if a hotter piece of ass comes along? I'm a jet.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you want to know?
Your background. Grew up in New York. Went to school in New York, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do after that?
Well, from beginning time?
You gotta tell me everything, but I like it.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Well,
Cliff notes, dude.
after school, I pretty much was in a GED program.
He's going to pull a turkey here in a minute. I'll tell you.
After school, he was
I
in a
ended up
GED
getting
program,
arrested.
so he didn't graduate school.
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing this.
What?
Got arrested.
Bank robbery.
Ah,
Up there in New York or somewhere else?
New York.
bank robbery. Like it's the Old West.
In New
I
York.
did my time, came home. I started working for a company named Warsaw.
So here's, you can see we got a little more context. Why is someone in his 30s living at home? Well, he spent the majority of his teenage years in prison. So, you know, and here's the thing. He's obviously not going to, because it's stupid. A lot of people will be like, you know, I don't know. Because like the police, when you're sitting in this situation, they've at least pulled your one sheet to see like where you've been in the system before. So the fact that he's, you know, telling them obviously things they're going to know must feel to him like he's going to gain some credibility because he's like, hey, I've been upfront with you about that. Like, hey, I've been in prison for bank robbery, but why am I sitting here today? I don't know. No reason, I guess.
In Brooklyn. Then I moved to Jersey.
Uh-huh.
I got married in Jersey. Had 2 kids in Jersey.
Bingo, there's the turkey. Jersey, Jersey, Jersey.
What else? It's just worked out there.
Are your kids still in Jersey? Or are they down here?
They're in Philadelphia.
Oh, they're in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
How old are they now?
11 and 9.
You get to see them often or no?
I live in
As
Florida.
me and the mother have issues from time to time. Last time I seen them was last year. I'm supposed to get them every year during the summer.
So time to time is, that space in between from time to time seems to be pretty long. Because number one, remember, this is Florida and they live in Pennsylvania or wherever he said.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him in a year, and he's like, oh, you know, it's a little complicated. We sometimes get into a little, you know, argument, a little tiff here or there. I haven't seen her in over a year, by the way.
This time it's a bit of an issue and trying to
Because
still
I
work
murdered
that
some
out.
people.
I hear you. I've been there.
Yeah, it's
Probably for the best.
a pain in the butt, but
So, interesting background.
depends on what.
Well, I mean, 'cause look, it's so absurd. This situation is so absurd. And the fact that it's just like, yeah, you know what? We're just 2 guys hanging out. Like they're like chilling at a bar.
It's interesting, you know.
No shit
From
it's not interested in me.
I
hate the way that cop is sitting.
Yeah, he's like trying to be relaxed to like loosen him up, but like he's already as loose as he's gonna get. And the fact that he can't even check in out of his sleepiness to be like, it's just in me. Shit. Anyway, murder?
So, why are we here?
I don't know, but I don't like moving.
No.
I don't know, but I don't like the looks of it, right? You can pull me in here at 6:30 a.m. on a Sunday, and I'm in a Hannibal Lecter belt. What's up with that? I don't think I like it, though.
You still don't know?
No.
No? I'm really interested in your relationship with Mr. Roosevelt.
Okay.
Okay.
I think there was a little more to your relationship with him than what you tell me.
What do you mean? It was just service calls, and that was it, really.
That was it?
Yeah, I mean, he likes to call everybody his friend, you know, friend, but anytime we ever spoke, you know, it was mainly about just service, that's all.
Here comes second detective. He's been mostly silent, but now you can see his head.
I didn't even realize there was another person in there.
Yeah, I was waiting for this very moment so you could see him. But yeah, he's been sitting over there silent, and he'll jump in at the opportune moment because we're playing a little bit good cop, bad cop later on. Spoiler alert.
Baldy McGee.
You mean to tell me that in the 3 years you've been working, doing what you do, you can't recall how many times you went to his house?
That's a rough question, man. I really can't.
Was that many?
It had to have been because I really can't. Like I said, when people call, I drop by, you know, if I can make it, I'll make it. If I can't, I'll reschedule.
See, all of that was just nonsense. It was verbal fluff. Like, obviously, how many times have you been there? I don't know. People call. This is obviously what he asked, right? Obviously, the answer to how many times you have been there, the answer is people call. If I can make it, I'll make it. If I can't, I'll reschedule.
Period.
What? How many fucking times have you been there? And he's like pulling a like, if I didn't know any better, I'd say he watched Stephanie Lazarus's interrogation to take like pointers to be like, woo, so long ago. 3 years?
He usually texts me everything, so I probably have a stream of, you know, oh no, but I did switch phones. But
doesn't matter. The carrier will have it.
This one you got now.
I also hate it when people pluralize already pluralized words. Texts.
HTC before. But the iPhone,
I did HTC.
I dropped it.
It wasn't responding on the screen, so I had to swap it.
What was this?
I really don't remember that. I'm trying to remember when
A year ago?
No.
6 months ago?
A few months back, yeah.
Two months back? Two?
I would say more than 12.
I love it when he needles him.
Okay.
The amount that this guy is yawning, I'd be like, sir, do you need a coffee? Do you need
It's
to take a
6:30 in
break?"
the morning. But a lot of guys will do that where they'll try and nail you down because like they'll ask you, when did this happen? They go, well, I don't know, within the past 10 years or what, I can't remember. So they'll try to get you. And he does a nice job of that. Where he goes 6 months, a month, 2 months, 3 months, so you can like nail it down. And so sometimes when they're trying to get it like down to a specific time of day, they'll use meals, which I think is a brilliant strategy. Because one guy I watched, or detective rather, he'll say before lunch, after lunch, because he'll say, oh, I don't know, sometime in the afternoon, before dinner, after dinner. Like, you know, that's a nice place to nail shit down, especially when you're trying to poke holes in somebody's story who's obviously guilty and let the digital footprint a mile wide.
Yeah. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Texas.
But you can tell me while we're here.
Yeah, I'm about to.
You can tell me why we're here.
Yeah,
You
do.
should probably already have a clue. Because, let me tell you this.
You're in handcuffs.
Okay, here we go.
35, and I mean, you're
35 again. 35, living at home, spent like fucking 15 years in the joint for bank robbery.
Has an 11 and a 9-year-old.
I mean, how did we get here, Rico?
kind of savvy, pretty intelligent, you know, computers and stuff like that. Technology in general, right? So you understand nowadays where we are with technology, right?
Yes.
And just in general, but put that as in the police aspect of it, law enforcement. How far technology has come.
Yes.
Okay. So let me, I guess, say to you that technology has brought you right here to this chair.
You could just taking the weight of that slap, like that was a like coach slap on the leg. And when that happens in interrogations like that, when detectives reach out and like pat the suspect, it's always a make it or break it moment, because sometimes it falls upon like a stone leg, like Rico here, where he's just like, duh. And other people, it snaps them. So I understand why it happens. But that was very like dad-like, very coach-like. Hey, man, it's like we're all in this together. So we're a team.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
How's that?
Well, I never met you. I didn't know who the hell you were until recently. So here we have an individual who we're investigating, whose death we're investigating. Okay. And here we have you sitting right there. And one of the things that I said brought you here was technology. So technology brought you guys together, brought us together. Okay? Didn't pick you up out of a hat.
Boom! Didn't pick you out of a hat. That's in our bingo somewhere around there. But one of my favorite ones, every time somebody gets in there, there's a real good chance they're going to say, we didn't pick you out of a hat. It's like, we weren't blah, blah, blah. There's many metaphors for it, but that's by far the biggest trope. And I haven't seen a name picked out of a hat in years, so I don't know why they're still using this metaphor. You have apps for that now.
It's not funny, haha, but funny in that there's that connection that you know him.
It's not funny, haha, but
He's dead, and you're here.
And technology?
Okay.
Getting the picture? Not yet? No?
Are you involved in any way with that?
No.
So here we go. The entrance of Bad Cop. We got Coach Dad Cop here, who's going to give you 110%. Now we've got this guy who he feels a bit blunt at times, but I think these guys work great as a duo. So look forward to that. It's not going to be a Sherry Papini detective
I think
duo.
that's what he's trying to ask.
No.
You mentioned your girl, right? How long you been with her? Staying with her at that house?
Steady, maybe the last month and a half, I would give it.
Like every day?
Yeah, like steady.
Okay, every day for a month and a half?
Yeah, I could be longer. I don't, could be a bit longer.
And you said you're not sure how many times you went to this Mr. Roosevelt's house?
But yeah.
Would you say more than 5 times?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have an idea of where he lives at, right?
Yeah.
You've been to his house. You know how to
Yeah.
get there?
Yeah, it's off of Pleasant Hill.
Pleasant Hill Road?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing you know the layout of the house? Because obviously you've been in there.
Yeah, I've been there. It's just really open.
It's an open concept.
Yeah, it's like really open, yeah.
I don't know that family too well, right? But did he invite you inside and offer you anything when you go there?
Well, when I go there, I'm normally, for service, I'm inside. I don't do outside work at all.
What areas of the house do you get to go to?
Well, I've been in his office. I've been at the dining room table working on his wife's laptop.
Okay.
I've been in his garage.
Okay.
And I've used the restroom there before.
Okay. And I know you said earlier, and I'm tired, you've done several different things, right? Some of which is computer stuff, and some of which is just helping around.
Yeah, computers and appliances.
The computer stuff, I guess you're pretty good with that.
I do the basics when it comes to computers. He really needed help with a lot of just basic stuff.
Like, did you take any classes for computers?
No, I self-taught everything, yeah.
Okay.
With
What kind of things that you know?
That's going to be important because someone who had a professional training of any sort in technology, it would probably be harder for them to do what Rico here is about to do, which is stare down the barrel of yard after yard of evidence and be like, I don't know. It happens all the time when they start laying out evidence. You know, again, I'll drop Sarah Boone, where the video comes out, or the pictures come out, or the DNA comes out, and God bless them for their self-preservation instincts. But to look at something like, and it can be as like bold-faced as like a screen grab from an ATM where it's like them in 4K res with holding a knife, like jamming it into someone, and like you make a flip book out of it.
That's
and they
not
can
me.
go through the flip book and be like, that kind of looks like me. And that's all like, what? It kind of, what? Like that, the soft admission is one thing, but then to be like, no, I don't know. Well, nothing. No, nope. I mean, it's got to be someone else's DNA.
Well, I started with building computers, but right now I just do like virus removals. I just bring over some software. Yeah, it just removes some viruses. He mainly needed help with his email.
Okay.
He was saying that he didn't know how to sync his email.
Now, is that with his computer or her computer?
Okay, so I cannot help myself any longer. I must spoil to you what the crux of this is, because it'll sort of fill out the flesh of why we're talking about computers so much. So, the broad strokes of this, and we'll get into the details as it goes along. The broad strokes are, he does work for this guy, finds CP on this guy's computer, approaches him about it to blackmail him.
Yep.
Mr. Roosevelt, Dixon, pulls a gun. This is the brief stroke. I don't even know about the validity of this part of the story, but the story that I am familiar with is Mr. Roosevelt pulls a gun, Rico takes it from him, and kills the couple. All over some lewd, child-based material that allegedly was on this guy's computer. Blackmail gone wrong. And he's like, this guy's about to walk through how airtight technology tracks literally everything, and he'll just give it like a nah.
With his and her both.
What kind of computer did he have?
HP.
Was it a laptop or?
Oh no, it was a desktop. She had the laptop. Yes.
Okay. Did you ever take any of them electronic stuff home for testing or repair?
No.
It was always at the house?
Yeah, I never like taking stuff out. You bring it back and they can say, this wasn't here, I have a big scratch now. It's,
Liability.
That's a bigger headache than you could believe.
CP and murder aside, I believe that. People are picky, and a lot of people, if they lose sight of their stuff, imaginary things happen. So I get it. I get it, Rico. The other stuff we don't agree on. This, I get you.
Right.
I guess he had viruses, you said?
Yeah, always.
Is there a reason why?
I tell him it has to be the websites he frequents.
Unless you're an idiot, a lot of those clandestine websites where you get questionable and or illegal material are chock full of viruses.
Yeah.
It's obviously, right? Like, who's going to regulate it? And the fact that the implication is so thick on the ground, it's like 12 feet of snow that he is blind to and freezing to death in.
Because when I leave him wiped. I verify with him that he is fully protected, and he'll call me and say he has a problem.
Do you get to? I'm a real dummy when it comes down to the computer world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you are you able to like see the websites that he's going into that's maybe giving him a virus or something?
Yeah, history.
have you noticed something like, hey, you shouldn't be going to this website because it gives you viruses? Like, how would you educate them in not getting viruses?
Well, the first thing I do is I add an ad blocker to his browser.
Okay.
That will eliminate most of the viruses.
So a big stress laugh right there. Number one, he's not answering the question. He's sidestepping to talk about an adjacent subject. But that big stress laugh, like he is, like it'll happen more and more as we go out. Like that stress laugh or the as soon as there's a silence. But I mean, hello, like it's so funny in this situation where they have to keep dancing around the subject. And I get why, because a smarter person would have already been like lawyer, but nobody knows where that line is for anybody. So these detectives have to walk this ethereal and imaginary line where they try. You can't be like bullshit unless somebody just lays down like a dog and they go, God damn it, tell me the truth. And they, whatever. But they're walking this ethereal tightrope with him where they're going, could it be possible, or is there a way, and I'm a dummy, or can you, like, would you get a virus from, like, where would you get it? Like, having to handhold him throughout this entire thing. It can be draining. I get it. But here's the thing I want to address, too. A lot of this stuff that's, like, super boring, like, when they're not talking about the juicy bits, I kind of get why that happens, because the more times they lie about the normal stuff, because the jury is going to be watching this footage, and every time the prosecutor can, like me, pause the video and point out an inconsistency and then be like, and moving on, like, is gold. So all the boring stuff is still good, but again, it is boring.
I advise him to keep it on. If he gets any pop-ups that's asking him to allow this page to show over his pop-up blocker, just deny it. But when it came to using the computer, he was pretty basic, he said. So he said he only logs into, like, his social sites or his email.
Okay. Did you notice any, I guess, irregular stuff that would cause a virus or damage to the computer?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't in his history that was giving him problems?
Honestly, I cannot tell you where he used to get these viruses from. I really don't know where he browsed, but I know that he always would have like a virus issue. And
so when you went into his history, you couldn't see?
Well, I didn't go.
Here's the thing. I don't care what specialty you're in. If you're an electrician, a plumber, a computer repairman, I don't give a fuck what you are. If you're called out to the same place for the same problem, by like the third or fourth time of you unclogging the same shit out of the same drain or replacing the same fixture or whatever, at some point you're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, even casually to the person, be like, again? Like, even...
Yeah.
Like, not anything. Just like, nope, I just showed up every time he had a virus, which apparently was pretty often, not asking a single question. And if the story is, I go to my website or my social sites and my email, how many viruses from Facebook are you guys getting? How many Instagram viruses or Twitter viruses have you gotten? And this guy's like self-taught about computers. Hello?
Into his history. I tend to not go into people's history. I show them how to clear it if they would like to.
So you never see what the type of websites he used to go on?
Also, if you're going to show someone how to clear their history, you're going to see their history.
Right. And a lot of times when you clear your viruses, it kind of tells you where it's from.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're always labeled, and that's the thing. He's like playing ignorant to things that you wouldn't have to be a technical wizard to just stumble across.
Yeah.
But he's acting like, the way I do things is completely antithetical to every other human experience ever. You've got to believe me.
He doesn't pry.
I show him how to clear the history
I don't
blindfolded.
need to know. I just, all I need to do is make sure that he's virus free, keep an ad blocker on there.
So what? Again, he's doubling down on being stupid. Because by saying something like that in that tone of voice, I don't need to know, implies that you know something shifty is probably going on.
Yeah.
Like, I realize everybody's got their kinky corner or whatever, and a computer is a very personal thing. But in this situation, to be like, hey, yo, man, I don't need to look at that shit. What? Methinks thou dost protest a little too much?
And just educate him on what not to do in case he gets any, like, notifications or things.
Stay out of 4chan, right?
Because I think you kind of have to, you can't avoid not seeing the history. I know the kind of history he had on his computer. And I think you do too.
No. I honestly don't go through history. I don't need to, no.
So, the viruses that you found on his computer, right? Did you run Windows program through it?
Windows Defender?
Yeah.
I like to bring Norton over, McAfee or something like that, do a quick scan, leave it that way, uninstall it, and then leave Windows Defender on there.
And you never saw the websites?
No, like websites, like just his general history.
Yeah.
I mean, if you open it, you're gonna see like whatever the person's doing at the moment, but like, I don't go to the history tab and go searching through your history, like.
Okay, not that this is important, but it sort of lends credence to the fact that he's lying. What just happened with his eyes, if you watched it? Because he's like, hey, I don't, and then pantomimes the action. And here's the thing, he's recalling a memory. Like, involuntarily, he's working the mouse with his hand, and you can see his eyes going to exactly where he would go to do that shit. Oh, another example of this happening is like Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter. If you watch his breakdown for like JCS or whatever, like when he's going through the motions of like holding his gun and like his memory, it doesn't, like it's very fleeting and you can miss it like that. But the fact that he was pantomiming doing the thing that he was remember doing on this man's computer, and obviously in the moment it sort of slipped by the detective because he's like having to think on the fly. But here we are after the fact, and there he did. He just remembered doing it. You saw him do it. His eyes told the story.
Not even by accident.
You
So
can't.
what shit he was doing?
Honestly, it's not easy to just do that by accident. You would actually have to hit the history tab, and that's what I'm saying. That's not something you just.
It's a light one, but we're going to give another one on the bingo. Honestly, like I'm being honest, or whatever it is. I'm being honest, like honestly. And sometimes they have to, because how many times, when you're telling the truth, how many times have you prefaced it with the word honestly? Not very often, unless it's like a non-asked for opinion. Because obviously we've all, like I've heard a million people go, honestly, you know, like I don't like that shit, dude. Like it'll be used in hyperbole, but here he's not like telling, like honestly, that's the best burrito I've ever had, bro. We're not in that situation.
There's no bro.
Just can do by accident. If you could just, navigate around the screen.
So he asked you, did you have anything to do with what happened to him? Did he not?
I'm still trying to figure out what's this situation, like what happened to him, and
He's dead, Jim.
Like, here's the thing. Playing the insanely stupid card never works.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how stupid you are. The police are always one step below you intellectually to explain it to someone below where you are. Like it's their whole job. So if your plan in the moment is like, I don't know, seriously, like this is a preschool's lesson on your being accused of murder, and to sit there and be like, no, dude, I'm still trying to figure out, like, where am I? Like, what are these things in my wrist? Like,
I understand this. You have said this, but
what else is to say? I mean, he's dead.
man.
Well, we're just trying to figure out if he had anything in his computer that he may or may not should have. Like,
May or may not should have. It's early, guys. Come on, cut us some slack.
Like I said, I'm not a
It's 7
computer
o'clock in the
genius,
morning
but like I know, I heard that if you go to websites, you could get viruses. I also heard that if you download stuff, there's a potential to get
Oh, yeah.
viruses.
Yeah, that's
So
common.
I think we're asking you if there was anything that, like I said, we don't know the gentleman like you know him. Did he have anything in his computer that he probably shouldn't have had? I mean, you got to play with both of their computers.
Yeah,
Here, if I may offer some advice, but no one ever takes anybody's advice, and it's not like I'm giving anybody actual advice. But in the moment, a lot of criminals in his situation, if they're more versed with the system, will, get in front of stuff by giving a little bit of the truth.
Yeah.
So if he, like in this situation, they are leaning so heavily on the illegal material on this dude's computer. Like a more seasoned or a more vetted criminal would probably jump in front of that and be like, whoa, I found CP on this dude's computer and I cut ties.
Right.
Like, whoa, like say that shit. Be like, I didn't know what to do. Like I've got a pass, so I didn't want to report him, whatever. Make up that story like other people have. And this isn't giving advice. It's just shit that's happened. I'm just applying it here.
Yeah.
Do that. Like jump in front of it. Be like, yeah, this dude's fucked up. Like, whoa, like, so, and then be like, yeah, double down. Be like, when I heard he was dead, I was like, I'm glad because that fucker was doing X, Y, and Z. But nope.
Yeah. He
Rico
could've-
here's like, nope, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing.
That, like, it's not a crime to say that somebody else had that on his computer.
And it'll lead, it'll give you some, in a perverted way, sort of credibility. Because you'll be like, whoa, I know what you're talking about. It's ringing a bell, voila. And
Yeah.
you can admit something and get that off your chest. And it's a soft admittance because there's no crime in looking at someone else's computer and finding illegal material. So why not give that up?
Right.
But just like I just close my eyes, I would hit the keyboard, and then I would leave saying bye.
as far as should not have.
Yeah, no. What was on his computer? You did too. He did. That's the thing. We're dancing around something that everybody knows, but we have to be like, did you? I think you did. Like we're playing this game of grandmother's footsteps. When, like, again, we've got a hard digital footprint. Like computers log everything somewhere that is retrievable by law enforcement.
I don't think so. I wouldn't believe so. He didn't seem like he would have something he shouldn't have.
You didn't seem like it.
Hey, what's your, do you have friends in Kissimmee?
A lot of people touch walls in the interrogations, too.
Haines City?
Haines City, that's even a new thing. Like, it's not a new thing. I'm lying. My father's been over there over a year now.
So here's he's so stressed, he's forgetting actual real life. Earlier in the interrogation, he said that him and his father lived in Haines City. And here he's like, oh, it's a new thing. Oh, shit, no, just kidding. I've been living there for... Like...
I live there on and off when I'm not living with my girlfriend.
Yeah, all of his stress that should be manifesting physically, like by a heightened breath or like by moving his legs around or being twitchy as fuck, is all mental now. And so it's even affecting stuff that he shouldn't have to lie about. He's just like, Haines City, what?
Kale says the computer's control button was out of order. It was out of control.
It's a newer area. Not a lot of people. Most of my friends are like in New York, Jersey, people I went to school with.
Went to school in Jersey, got married in
even
Jersey,
Atlanta,
got a kid in
I have
Jersey.
a few friends lingering around there.
Did you know Mr. Roosevelt was from New York?
Yeah, that's when we originally met. I'm pretty sure that was the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other friends that you talk to all the time, hang out with, or associates?
Right now, no.
Just your girl?
Okay, so what we're leading into here, I'll give you a little backstory because it's not going to be addressed here. The reason why he is sitting here right now is he broke a cardinal sin of crime. after you commit the crime, you go ask a bunch of people to come help you clean it up. So the way he got caught was the girlfriend of the friend that will be discussed later that I'll mention because this whatever. But that guy, like his girlfriend, called 911 because she found out on the way to pick up the bodies, they were on their way to pick up some bodies. And so she called 911 and she's like, we're going to go pick up some motherfucking bodies and I'm in a gas station and this shit is fucked. And she's like, she never gave any like pertinent information to where she was, but they like GPS'd her and found out the gas station. And like, that's how this broke, is like a short phone call of her talking to someone on 911 being like, I don't want to go clean up a body. Her yelling at someone outside the car being like, I don't want to unlock it. I'm scared. And the call dying. Here we are.
Yeah, my girlfriend, my sister, you know, our family.
So what's your normal routine for a day?
I check my email, check to see if I have any calls. If not, I advertise. I buy and resell. So if somebody has a cell phone that probably needs to be refurbished, or somebody has a laptop that can possibly be refurbished, they sell it for cheap, I'll try to buy it, get upgraded parts, and resell.
So here's the thing. I get the laptops and everything, the buying and reselling and fixing stuff, but like phones, unless like there's something I'm missing, they feel to me like they need a specialized skill set and tools. Like if you're going to open up something that small, it feels like you would need some sort of workshop that not I shouldn't be skill shaming, because maybe he's just really good at opening up phones and fixing them somehow.
Well, then why didn't he fix his other phone that broke and he had to get a new
Well,
one?
if the glass breaks, then whatever. But like, that's the thing. I don't. That's a weird sticking point to me, because like buying and flipping phones, I get, but saying he fixes them, it's like that. It always hits me in a weird way, because I'm like, what?
That's what you do during the day?
Yeah.
How's business been recently?
It sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. The buying and reselling is actually a bit better than the appliance repair itself. Well, the appliance repair is kind of slow right now. Only thing I really see a lot of is dryers lately.
I'm like, who cares?
And yeah, kind of
Tony
sucks right
says,
now.
I think you might be talking about just wiping phones, not like fixing them. I might be wrong though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's so vague. It could be anything, but like, I don't know. Maybe phones last longer, but I feel like 2 years and they die. So unless there's some way, and there's a market for everything, so I'm sure whatever, but I'm just ignorant to it all. It just feels weird to me, is like my only point.
Mm-hmm.
Wipe my butt.
When you did these repairs, I think you mentioned to my partner that Roosevelt paid you in cash.
Not impressive, Club.
How does the price points work out?
Well, for him, I was just giving him a discount, you know.
This deep in, this question feels stupid, because it is not relevant at all to any of this. Like how much he got paid to fix the dude's computer, I don't know why, because you'll see, spoiler alert, it leads nowhere. It is a fucking worthless question. We're way past rapport building. Why are we circling the drain like this obtusely? Like I get asking like the soft questions of like, do you think, or maybe, or blah, blah, blah. But the change and on the fly like this, again, maybe you can point to it and be like, well, it's psychologically taxing, but it just feels like, what are we doing here? And it's allowing, we're past the point where we should be vacillating. That's what I'm getting at. The pressure should be on. We've established all the facts. Like, it cannot be any deeper. So now's when the pressure starts cranking up like a pressure hooker, but to switch and be like, so was it cash? Oh, what is cash? Like we're departing too wildly for my taste.
What's the average number of cash you get?
Yeah, like
He said he would give me some referrals if I just took care of him. He said that he didn't want it to be taken advantage of because he had a guy in New York that would look at his machine. He charged him a flat rate, and I'm pretty sure that's how I stuck with letting him know $10 gas And depending on what it may be, we can range from like $25 to $35 for the call.
So I'm wondering, he probably got, because, like, do you think that this man in his, by the way, he's like in his 60s. You think this man in his 60s just like started collecting this shit in the last 3 years after he met Rico here? So I'm wondering what the actual story is and how deep that shit goes with the last guy who charged him a flat rate or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, yeah, that flat rate probably got real big when he had to scan for viruses and actually did all the things that you have to do and saw the shit.
Right.
Right?
Right.
He moved to Florida.
Because it was always short calls. It was nothing ever too long or extensive.
And when it was time for you to leave, I guess when the job was done and he'd pay you, it just...
Yeah, it's just, here you
Maybe
go.
out a little and then I leave.
Sometimes it's a tip.
Okay.
So he'd take the money out of his pocket, right? Or sometimes maybe it'd be in a wallet. He'd walk over to you. Maybe he would smile. He would extend one of his arms that held the money. You would make eye contact, presumably with him, extend one of your arms to collect the money, and then you would leave the premises. Am I right, Rico? Does that sound about right? What are we doing here?
Are there receipts
And I
involved?
guess he took out the money from his wallet.
Like, yeah, out of his pocket or,
Yeah, you know, like I was saying before, he would reach into a pocket, maybe sometimes the front, sometimes the back. One
His
time he
wife's
came out of
purse.
his shirt pocket. It was wild. Knock it off.
Did you notice his house? If it was modernized, if it was where you can control
Money
everything on your
collecting.
phone. What do you call them?
like a smart home?
Yes, exactly.
Spoiler alert, since, you know, why not, I guess, is the answer to this. Because of why not, Mr. Roosevelt had a fuck ton of security cameras around his house. And on the day in question, they happened to be mysteriously destroyed, and the hard drive to which they went, the hard copies, was stolen. And here's the thing. I'm an idiot, and I don't know much about technology, but I do know that most security cameras, even like the cheap ones, update all of that to a cloud.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, gentle viewer.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I never seen him control anything in the house off his phone.
And nothing was hooked up to his computer?
His computer.
I've heard this list so many times, and it never gets less asinine. We'll touch base after it.
Hold on. He has a computer, a printer.
Uh-huh.
He has a monitor.
Oh.
He has a cable box, I believe, or a router, and that was it. Only thing hooked up around his computer.
The normal things.
So, home wasn't smart. That you could recall.
Did he, like, obviously he's asking about the fucking cameras. And to sit here and be like, like, how hard is it to remember everything a computer almost needs? You need a monitor, right? You have a computer, right? Something to provide you with internet, and the printer is optional. But we walk through that entire list because Rico here knows we're talking about cameras, knows that there were cameras, knows that he sold a hard drive that saved all the footage that the cameras had, but he had to tell the detective here that, yeah, Mr. Roosevelt had a monitor.
Hey, he didn't say he had a mouse and keyboard. I'm sure those were wired. Kale says it's almost like security cameras could have something to do with the technology the interviewer set up that brought the perp to him.
Somehow, a murder and Rico Gondola linked by technology, and he has yet to see the link despite being a self-taught IT professional.
Yeah.
I never seen him control anything off his phone. That's like you could dim your lights and turn stuff off and on. Yeah, I know what you mean now. I never seen that before.
At least it didn't.
It's 2018. The idea of a smart house has been around for like 10 years at this point. So again, like the stupid card, like He's got a whole deck of stupid cards, and he keeps pulling him out and tossing him into the hat, hoping one makes it. Like, they're just going to be like, oh, well, this guy's so stupid. He doesn't even know what a smart home is. Go back home, Rico, and, like, tell your girlfriend we said hey in that dialysis clinic, and we're all pulling for him.
And go watch the movie Smart House.
It's all you can see that.
Well, I never see. I mean, you can't really tell until you actually see somebody using it. I never seen him actually use any of those features.
And if he had a smart house,
Did
why
you
would he
notice
need
anything
somebody
else
to
around
come
his
clear his
house, on the
viruses?
outside of his house?
Good point.
You ever notice the security cameras he had?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, those.
Thinking you talking about.
Outside.
That
Did
technology.
he ever have you work on those?
No. He actually was gonna refer the person who did those to me for my parents. Jeez.
I feel like sometimes they're long enough. He's like trying to break into a song.
He said, I think it was a person that his wife knew, and that he works for a company, but he does that on the side, and he charges you like a flat rate, because my parents are talking about,
So many flat rates.
So here's the thing. There are two things apparently we can talk about when he brings up the cameras, like the fact that they probably caught everything that happened, or we can talk about who installed them and what sort of jobs he would want to do and what sort of money he would get for said jobs, which is exactly why the police brought you here.
Yeah.
They wanted to know what kind of referrals you fucking get.
Yeah, would you charge flat rate for that, or would you just charge for
Have you
gas?
ever gotten a referral based around security cameras that may or may not have caught you murdering somebody? Honest question.
on that, but we never moved forward with that.
And he's dead now, so.
So you never did anything else, you didn't do anything outside, you said? Everything was inside the house?
Yeah, except for one time in the garage, that's about it.
Which is a gray area. Some people consider it outside, some consider it inside. I consider it inside because there are walls and doors.
Yep.
Inside.
It could be an attached garage, too, so you never have to go outside to get there.
Yeah, you know what? It's a gray area for a lot of people.
What was in the garage?
He had one of those, like, open windows.
He did it again, backing up my wild speculation earlier that he was telling the truth based on his body language. Look at what he did. He looked toward the wall in his memory of where it was and ran his eyes up and down and even did a little hand motion. Like, he's telling the truth via his actions, despite the fact that his mouth is like, no.
That he wanted to install
You don't believe me?
I agree to a certain extent, but people can do that. If people are animated talkers, they can do that.
But the reason why they're animated is because they're living the actions that they are describing. They're pulling it from a memory. Everybody, whenever I do that, I'm speaking from personal experience. When I'm thinking of something that I'm physically representing, I'm doing it from memory and oftentimes not realizing I'm doing it.
Well, I get that, and I understand, like, do it. Like, he's picturing the window in his head, but the computer part, if he does that, everybody knows how to
Right, but in this situation, he's like,
yeah,
he's stressed and he's pulling that memory because that's what, like, he's not actively thinking about whether he should be remembering it or not. It's just a reflex. He did the thing with his eyes just now out of reflex. He's not, that's why I'm saying it's an automatic thing because he's pulling up the memory and he's doing it.
yeah.
He's not doing it to like really drive home the fact that he's pantomiming something. Like he's not doing it for the vaudevillian aspect of it. He's going through a memory. So when the detective was like, "What at Mr. Roosevelt's computer do you do blah 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 blah?" and he goes, "Zip zip zip." Nope, never done it. He just played the memory. Of course, it's a speculation, and maybe you're right and I'm wrong, but he just did it again, folks.
Yeah.
Pull down blind, like the wireless blinds, I think they're called. And that was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
How would you get there?
To his house?
Yeah.
It's a straight run down 1792 till you get to Pleasant Hill.
We're so close. He has yet, unless I've missed it, he has yet to directly repeat a question. Because his tactic, like most of the time, that's just for time. But Rico has landed on the so he doesn't ever ask to clarify. He just fills the silence with like an idling two-stroke.
And then you make a right, and then you drive to his street, and then you make a left. Yeah.
And you will go by yourself
Yeah.
when you do these jobs?
Yeah.
And are you driving like a company van or car? What are you driving?
We've
A
already
minivan.
talked about
A
this.
minivan?
Yeah.
And it's always a minivan?
Yeah, majority of the time.
So the reason why they'll do that is to establish something very firmly, because what he's doing here is hammering him into a position of like, hey, how do you get there? And like, not only by direction wise, but like physically, how do you get there? And he'll say, the van.
Yeah.
Always the van, nothing but the van. I've only ever driven a van. And so when you make a sweeping statement like that, and the police are often holding a card that says that's a bluff, that's what they're looking for. Is if the perp goes, yeah, 100% this, then the detective can go, oh, well, old maid, bitch, because here is a receipt for something.
Oh, well, yeah, he's just said majority.
If
of
it's
the
not a
time, so there's wiggle
minivan-
room.
Well, because let's say he's about to close off that gap too, because he'll be like, well, sometimes it'll be something else, but he'll quickly follow it up with the exact thing that is. So therefore, cutting off the thing that actually happened again.
It would actually end up maybe being my sister's vehicle, but I don't think I've ever been near my sister's vehicle.
See, it might be this, but actually no.
What kind of vehicle your sister got?
It was that Camry that was at the house.
Okay. I'm guessing you drive that vehicle too?
Sometimes, but she's like a busybody. I hardly get that vehicle.
I don't know if this is a lie or if it's just a continuity error that I missed, but earlier in the interrogation, we established that the black vehicle, which is the Camry, does not work, but the red vehicle, that is an Explorer, does work. So I don't know if...
There's a different, he didn't mention what's the car the sister
Well, no,
has.
because his sister has two cars, the red car and the black car.
His girlfriend has two cars.
Right,
the
but he's
red-
talking about his sister's car right now. He said sister like 3 times.
I know. The sister doesn't have the red car and the black car. The girlfriend does.
No, I thought the sister had the red car and the black car.
Oh my god. No, the girlfriend has the two cars. The one car doesn't work, so they mainly drive the red Explorer, and that's the one that he has to take her to work in. Then the brother and the sister-in-law and the kids have two cars, and the sister has one car.
That's the thing, man.
There are 5 cars, and that was the car that he mentioned.
There's actually
last.
like 6 because he does not count the van, which is probably at that place too, because again, he lives with his dad and that's his dad's house and 9 other people live there and there's 40 cars. It's impossible. Again, it's like what? And P.S. None of these cars are relevant. They just have to make sure. Again, I don't know why, because they have video evidence.
Yeah, like why bother? Like they know he did it.
We're just going in circles, and I, as a jury member, would be like, "What?" Because again, that was a legitimate, like, I don't understand. I don't know.
So it's mainly the van.
Okay.
Bye. I love it when they do that.
Okay.
The way he's looking makes me
Did you
think that
get a
he's
chance to
standing.
talk to,
Was this
the
the 10
detective.
seconds of silence?
to Miss
At this point, let's just say cumulatively, we've had enough like awkward silence to fill that spot, right? So go ahead and mark that off.
10 seconds of silence.
Rose?
It doesn't start kicking up like bingo wise until the end when the confrontations start happening and like the more like our detective starts clapping and hitting his legs and shit, which again, it's a masterpiece.
Roosevelt?
No.
You don't talk to Mr. Roosevelt a lot? Okay, so his business is always with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, give me a second, alright?
Okay.
Don't touch this, sir.
Not a problem.
Don't touch this. Not a problem.
I'm not moving from this chair. Don't you worry, sir.
So that cut there was not only for time, but he's going to bring it up like the power went out. But it's weird.
The power went off? Did it go off again?
What?
The power?
Just for a second.
Would you,
It's weird because he's looking at that recorder to make sure he didn't fuck with it. So they're both looking at it, but talking about something else. You can see it. It confused him for a minute. Like Rico's like, what?
what do people call you?
Rico.
Rico? All right, Rico. I'll be straight up with you. Dude, I think you're a really nice guy, you know, and I think you have
I love that
a good sense
tactic.
of humor. Because for us, especially for me, I think it's important. And
This is what he's about to say is so disingenuous. I had to stop to tell you that before he goes through it. I apologize. Let's hear him.
it's a job for us to have kind of a sense of humor, because you know what we do for a living, right?
Yeah.
Right. So being a homicide cop, we see a lot of bad stuff. To be light at heart helps. So not you bring that shit home and it's just gonna tear you up. So that's the reason I am that I am. And for you, it seems like you kind of have a good disposition. Okay. I personally for me, and I say this through my experience, through what I've done in this investigation, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I know that you're not telling me everything.
So you can see he was trying to build up to something, right? That whole like, I like you. You've got a great sense of humor. I like to be light at heart too. I'm a homicide detective. He skirted how many years he's been on the force by the skin of his teeth, but you can see it just went nowhere.
Yeah,
It was like, hey, it's time for a confrontation, and he wanted to soften the blow by having a lead up. Like when they like that truth sandwich where it's a nice, a mean, and a nice. I feel like he was really trying to hammer that home where he's like, hey man, I like you. I feel like we could be friends if you weren't a horrible murderer and I weren't actually arresting you for said murder. You got a great personality. I'd love to go watch Cable Guy with you or whatever. Anyway, I think you're a fucking liar.
yeah.
Whoops, a little mishandled. It's only 7:30, so maybe,
And people have their reasons for that. And hopefully this morning we're going to find out your reason for that. Because straight up, you ain't telling me the truth.
About what?
But I'm going to help you.
About
I'm
what?
going to help you right now. You say about what? Do you
I'm gonna
remember?
help you tell me the truth.
You say about what? What the fuck have we been talking about for almost 40 minutes? A guy was murdered, so was his wife, technology, you, and a van. What are we talking about?
Shackles.
Rico, you can't pull your hands more than 6 inches away from your belly button.
About halfway into our conversation, I started asking you about his house and his computer, and smart home and stuff like that.
Hello.
So, when you did work for him, you did it on his computer.
Yeah.
I told you that I saw his computer, and I saw what was in that computer. And we're talking about history. I saw his history, and I saw the shit that he was doing.
What was he doing?
He was doing some pretty nasty stuff that in this, besides homicide, that'd be the second worst thing a person can do.
Strong
He was on
agree.
his computer. And I think you saw that. And you told yourself you're a father of a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, so you have kids. So when someone who you're working for, this is my personal opinion, you run into some shit that's, I don't think anybody in society really goes for. I think that can make a person angry. So
It would be like if he were coming off as arrogant on top of stupid, it would be so much more infuriating. But for this detective to go through all of that with the big claps and everything, he's punctuating it, for him to be like, as a response to all that, like,
Well, and the whole time he was like, and then at that point he's like,
right, because he's laying some heavy shit on him, and this makes sense to me, and I'm not, someone who does service calls. So all of this has to be sinking in, but he has to cling desperately to the hope that somehow, after all of this, his ignorance will somehow be proven genuine.
Yep.
Which evaporated in a puff of smoke the second he was like, I don't fucking believe you.
Yeah. Kayla says this is awful close to I know a lot of the answers already.
We'll get there. Don't you worry. We've got more because, again, like I
You
said.
did work in his house.
Yes.
You saw the monitor.
Mhm.
You saw that he had a surveillance system in his house.
Yeah, the monitor right above his computer.
Then
By
you
the
saw
printer.
the camera system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you understand, being a computer guy,
Mm-hmm.
how this stuff is stored, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say, What do you mean,
Like stored, like set up and stuff.
Set up, memory.
Mm-hmm.
Stored is completely different from set up.
Yeah.
Like if someone said, hey, this is a kit to build a small log cabin. And I said, hey, store this away. If I started breaking it out and building it, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Put it in storage. You mean like set up and stuff? You mean like a blankie? You mean like spaghetti? You mean like some other thing that is not what we were talking about?
So you're familiar with that?
Yeah, everything pretty much has memory. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you know there's a hard drive
Mm-hmm.
where you can store memory,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the cloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you finally brought up the cloud, but up until that point, it feels like two 90-year-olds trying to explain computers to one another. The hard drive has the memory, which is in the computer, and there's a monitor. and the cloud.
So I told you in my explanation that technology brought you here.
Back here again, right?
So are you putting two and two together now?
No.
Technology.
Still,
Camera system. You.
a
in his
murder.
house. You kind of get it now?
I've been to his house, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Tony says
So-
this is hard for me to reconcile. Like, murder is bad and CP is bad, but killing someone who has CP seems to lessen the murder a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I totally agree with you, Tony, because it does. But here's the thing: he's not a Robin Hood, right? Like he's not a masked figure who is doing it because he's like, no one does this on my watch. I got kids. Pow, pow, pow. It's more like, hey, I found the CP. I want money from you.
Right.
So this is a robbery gone wrong, essentially. It's blackmail gone wrong. So there's no, it's not like he's like, hey man, because I agree with you. Because there has been instances like that where the parent of somebody, a child that is a victim of somebody, will go and do some horrible shit. But this was like, aha, I know you're doing illegal shit. I'm against it in principle, but I'm willing to look the other way. For money. And he goes, aha, I got a gun. Just kidding. Now I got a pow, 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 pow. Hello, friend. Let's get rid of a body. Don't tell the police.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I don't think you get what he's talking about at all. I just want to make sure you get what he's talking about. You understand what he's saying?
The camera system
Yeah. Keep going.
and me.
Keep going.
This is like if, with the new, like when Robert Downey Jr. was the new Sherlock and you went to his head, it was like, putting all the pieces together and walking through the puzzle. It would be like, this is as if you got into his head, right? And it was like chain link after chain link. And we go to the end and it's just like, it pops out over Rico's head here is like that Simpsons dead donkey with all the flies around it. So technology and cameras and me and a murder and CP and a minivan. No, I just don't get it.
I've been to the house.
And you
I've
said
been to his
we're
house.
Together?
So that's right. If you don't understand something, just ask. Just ask. It's okay, man. A lot of people sometimes don't.
I mean, this isn't looking good. I mean, I'm being
It's not. It's not.
So
You're right.
Our salmon polo shirted detective here is getting more like the stress is telling on him more than it is on Rico at this point, which is insane. It happens a lot where like the person doesn't react physically, the detective will usually pick up the slack, which is what we see here. He is leaning in. He's trying to get him to mirror his pose with the knees on the elbows there, the rubbing of the face, like, and I get it. I'm frustrated, and I'm a nobody. And I'm not even. I have no invested thing here.
Not looking good for you, and I'm telling you that we didn't pick you out of a hat.
There it is
we
again.
Did not. The investigation led right to you.
How?
I can't see how.
I see exactly how. You understand there's a process in this country, right, when it comes to law enforcement investigations, making arrests, getting all that stuff.
I think so.
So we basically had to prove that you had something to do with his death.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Me? What? 40 minutes in.
This is news to me.
Me?
Yeah.
No. Please don't do that. No.
Yeah.
So you had nothing to do with it?
No. Not at all.
And here's the thing.
Please don't do that.
But I'm gonna tell you this. In my experience, I've sat in this chair thousands of times.
To be
Or a
fair.
chair like this, and had someone in that chair thousands of times.
I'd say hundreds to be
I'm gonna
safe.
tell you, dude. I might bullshit a lot. I have good sense of humor, but there's a couple things I believe in. And number one, dude, I'm a strong Christian person.
Bingo! We brought up the Lord.
Lord.
So that's a bingo spot for you. If you bring up, believe in God. Maybe it's sample bias. Jesus and God are brought up a lot in interrogations. I've never seen it work once. Not a single time have I seen someone go like, oh yeah, what would Jesus do? I murdered him.
Did it.
And when somebody said, and you haven't done it yet, and I give you credit for this, the same people that sat in that chair would say, I didn't do it. I swear to God. I swear on my children.
You're not
I
supposed to
swear
say that.
on my parents' graves.
Yeah.
And those same people sat there. And I know what I know, they were freaking lying out their ass. Okay? So it takes just more than just saying that. And we're not going to have someone sitting there like you are in handcuffs because we ain't got nothing on them. Because we do. We always do. We do our homework before that.
I understand, yeah.
So this is what we do. We don't necessarily have to bring people in here. We don't. Because if we have the evidence, we just make an arrest, and that's it. Pass the paperwork on to the courthouse, and we're done.
We're about to do a double whammy here.
But
So.
we do bring people in here to give them the opportunity.
Oh,
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and the tip of the ship has happened. We know a lot of the answers. He says homework a lot. What do you do on homework? Get the answers. So cross that. And also, he's offering him the opportunity. They will always offer you the opportunity to walk into a cell or the chair or whatever they're trying to get you into. The opportunity is there for you, my friends. So that's a double whammy.
which one?
I know a lot of the answers already,
Yeah.
and offering an opportunity.
Oh, yeah. We already had the other one. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't officially. The answers, this is fresh because we've been
Oh, yeah.
teetering on.
Kayla said, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
To explain, because there's always an explanation for something. Unless you're a cold-hearted ass freaking killer, you don't give a shit as to the reason. We don't get many of those, because normally we get people in here that either made a mistake, something happened in the spur of the moment, it should change. Because in Florida, one of the biggest things when it comes to what we do is premeditation. You know what that means?
Not the complete definition.
Premeditation is somebody to have a thought about doing something.
Complete definition.
Talking
Wow.
about it, planning it, and then doing it.
Understood.
Okay, that's a cold-hearted person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get people that make mistakes. And I can tell you right now, my man, you made a mistake. And I'm saying that based on our conversations.
Real quick, the word mistake seems so light in these types of situations. To me, a mistake or a mistake is a momentary flash in the pan, right? Like your whoops. I can see a one murder in rage, one shot fired or whatever. Like, when we go beyond, like, with obviously there's premeditation, you're like, a mistake. You mistakenly rented a car, drove out, cut all the cords in the house, stole all this stuff, and mistake after mistake after mistake. I just watched one where, like, this dude was a serial kidnapper where, like, he would kidnap people at gunpoint and, like, rob them blind, then drop them naked someplace. And the detectives, again, are like, did you make a mistake? Like, did you accidentally abduct 40 people?
Yeah.
Whoops! It's not slipping on a banana peel. That's a mistake.
In our interactions. Because to me, you don't seem like somebody who freaking went out there and planned this shit.
No, yeah, definitely, Tony. He's using the Reed technique and minimizing and trying to offer him an alternative theory where, you know, obviously this is premeditated. He's balls deep in premeditation. But if you can say, well, it was a mistake, that's one thing. Like, oh, I accidentally planned it. Or in the heat of the moment, you can say, well, and they'll bring this up too. They'll go, what's the difference between first degree, second degree, and manslaughter? It gets dicey because that walks the line of, like, bargaining, but it depends on the municipality, and it's just another guise in the way of, like, a soft admission of, like, whoops, I accidentally shot this guy because I was accidentally blackmailing him. And then, you know, we go from there. But yeah, you're totally right, Tony.
I don't have anything to do with this.
There you go.
The what?
Then who does?
I don't know.
I want to believe you, and that's why we're having our discussion, because I want to have a better understanding and believe you, and me and him are a little bit
At odds.
at odds.
We're
at
at
odds.
I really don't have anything to do with this.
So, you went to fix his computer.
Uh-huh.
I know.
Again, a wild shift backwards. It's like, hey, you did it. Say it. God damn it. Like, this is, if this were translated into, like, a schoolyard situation, like, these two dudes would be bullies holding a loogie above his face. And that quick shift is like slurping it back up, getting him up onto his feet, dusting him off, and being like, hey, what do you think about this Fleer baseball card collector's, you know, whatever?
Oh, you saw the child porn on that computer.
Child porn? No. I never seen child porn on this computer.
What?
Never.
Really? So let me ask you this.
Really?
Did you ever discuss the stuff he used to do with friends of yours? On the job, I mean.
Possibly.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of knowing the answers, they know who he talked to. They have a specific person in mind that they are referring to. And it no doubt has conjured that man's image, along with his scared girlfriend, to Rico's mind.
So, what if I tell you that during my investigation, I found out information like that? To corroborate what I already knew. That would make you look bad.
Because I never seen the child porn?
No,
Again, like, I don't know, maybe that one was stress, but, like, completely losing the thread. He's talking about, we have evidence that points to you in this certain situation. I think you did. And he goes, because I didn't do this other thing? No, God.
because I think you did, and I know that others know you did, but you sit here and you deny it. I can prove it.
You told a lot of people.
I can freaking prove it. So for you to sit here, and I mean, I know you might be scared, and that'll be normal.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
But the reason why you're sitting right here, right now, and not
Technology.
sitting at the county jail is because I wanted to hear your side of the story.
We're so close, right?
Yes.
I have nothing to do with this.
Okay, let me tell you this. I'm not gonna play all my cards, but check this out. Some of the stuff we find out, I can tell you right now. I know what you were driving. Okay. Did you rent a vehicle recently?
My mother.
Oh.
I get why people rented cars back in the day to commit crimes because it was all paper and you were signing things and fake ID. It was a lot easier to get around it. But now everywhere from the sleaziest motel to the shittiest car rental company takes your fucking information. All of it. Your insurance, your credit card, your driver's license, they have to be insured. Like it's no longer like you can sign a quick sheet. They give you the yellow copy and you're off for a weekend in Yellowstone National Park or whatever. And they don't give a fuck because it's not the 70s. Now, on top of what he's about to get into, before you even get the car, they've got your entire rap.
Yeah.
P.S. Obviously.
What kind of vehicle was it?
Altima.
Altima. Who makes Altima?
Nissan.
Nissan.
Yeah.
Nissan. I love that guy.
Did she rent it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I told you, the van broke down.
P.S. You do not circumvent all the things that I just said. If you get your mom to do it, it's too close a relation. P.S. That's what happened here.
For
Right, transmission.
yeah.
When did she rent this car for you?
Around the time of the murder?
Jeez, I don't know. Shit. I had it for about, I can't remember when she got it.
When did you?
Hey, you'll also check this out. If you do commit a crime and rent or use a rental car for the cleanup, clean up the rental car too, right? If you give it back to them and they have reddish brown staining, industry term, and they go, well, that wasn't there before. Why would somebody rent a car for no holiday in the middle of the week and bring it back with blood?
Whereas,
Not chocolate.
that was a crazy day too. I can't even remember.
The carpet in
We
the trunk was
returned
pushed
it.
in in the shape of a body, two bodies.
My father returned on Tuesday. I can't remember.
Last week?
Possibly.
Keep that in mind. This happened so recently. He's acting as if like he rented the car 3 years ago.
Right.
This was last week. Oh God, what my memory? When was I driving a Nissan Altima? A week ago, maybe? I don't know. It's so hazy. My memory, like that Nissan's like Brigadoon of the mind.
Said something
Tuesday.
about, you said that it was a crazy day. Do you
Yeah.
recall that day? You remember
Yeah,
that day?
because I had to get she told me make sure that your vehicle is clean because
Didn't do that.
if we take it back, they're charging a $400 cleaning fee.
Who'd you go
I
with
didn't.
to take it back?
My mother, she had to take it back.
Did you go with her?
Yes. Because we had to take both vehicles and
You had to ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did you return it to?
The Hertz in Haines City by the Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What time?
I had to be there by 1:30 or 1 o'clock.
You know what those cars have on them?
What's that?
GPS.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Duh.
You know what those cars have? Because they're insured and they're expensive? GPS. Yeah, of course. Of course. Now, he drove that car to the place of the murder and to the place where they found the bodies, too. GPS. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course they have GPS. Anyway, why do you bring that up? Detective?
Can I go home yet?
Yeah. So, do you think, once again, here comes technology,
Here it is
that
again.
we can't obtain information?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure you can obtain information.
So, take that into consideration. Take the surveillance into consideration. So here we have two things that, unless you're really, really good, you can't beat technology. Okay?
He doesn't
So-
seem like a master
You know-
hacker.
Right.
Let me ask you this then.
He's not elite.
Today is Sunday. So,
Mhm.
on Monday, the 9th.
The 9th, okay.
Do you remember that day?
Last week.
Monday the 9th.
Okay, he repeated it. Monday the 9th. Do you remember that? Monday the 9th.
The
He
9th.
finally repeated the question, so Perp repeats the question. Mark that on your cards.
Of this month?
No, last month, fool. Of the
No.
Sorry.
No.
this
The
month.
9th. I'm nothing without my phone really. Like when I'm able to use it, that kind of gives me a idea.
It's the day before you turned in the car.
Okay.
You
Uh-huh.
remember that? A little bit better.
Okay.
So do you think that phone call that he
Wow.
made to Mr. Roosevelt on like the 3rd, it was like the day before July 4th.
He was making sure
Was-
he was going to be there so he could go kill him.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like to black.
Fantastic plan, TK boys. I got a question. Can I get a ride home? Can I get a ride
Can I
home?
get a ride home?
I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Malik.
And that day.
Nothing really.
You didn't do nothing for a whole day?
I mean,
No.
usual routine. I get up, listen calls.
Check my emails.
Usually advertise a little.
Again, here, a specific question, a single day being mentioned, and he answers in generalities. You remember what you did that day? Well, what I usually do is, I'm asking what you usually do, bitch. On the day of the murder, when you rented the car, they had the GPS, and P.S. your phone was pinging the whole fucking way.
Salmon sure had to go potty.
Fucking computer guy.
I've been picking up my girlfriend every day, and that's about it.
Do you remember picking up your girl that day?
Well, I mean, I've been picking her up almost every day.
Well, I
so-
mean, you're making it seem like you're telling me what you did that day, but you really don't even know? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, like I said, usually when I have my phone, I can just run through my list. I can kind of get an idea, like what I was
I
doing.
think my partner here could tell you what you did that day.
It was a week
Mhm.
to the day that you told us you last talked to Mr. Roosevelt.
Real quick, that comes up. That dynamic will come up more and more. It feels like a volleyball game where they keep bouncing the ball back to each other. It kind of makes it feel light and kind of fun to watch because, again, I mean, he's buried under the Mount Everest of evidence. So it's nice to have a little back and forth between good cop, bad cop. And he's like just going to pass it off to the good cop partner. He's like, I think my partner knows. And then he just sort of passes out into a little sleep.
Okay.
When you said you called him, said you weren't going to be available.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So, a week from that,
Mhm.
a week and a day, you returned the car. So, that was on a Monday we're asking you about.
Mhm.
And you said you don't recall? Do you recall?
At this point, it's been 6 days
You
ago.
familiar with St. Cloud?
Yeah.
You're familiar with St. Cloud? You know where 15, Narcoossee, and 192?
Yeah. 15 in Narcoossee, yeah.
Oh, 15 is Narcoossee, and then you got 192.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, this is where the context of before will come into play. He is describing the gas station from which the 911 call was made by the friend's girlfriend, and he's trying to get him in that spot. Now, he is playing super dumb, obviously, because it's his only arrow in his quiver. But we have to stumble through, like, he won't even admit, like, stores are there. He's like, tell me what's there. He lives there. He'll say, yeah, I live there later. And he's like, tell me what's there. He won't even admit, like,
Landmark.
there's a there's a gas station.
Okay. So, how is
gas
it then
station.
that we can put your car right there?
In St. Cloud,
Mm-hmm.
I've been staying there.
Well, that's a little further east than what you're saying.
Mhm.
What business would you have up there in that area?
Narcoossee. Where exactly is that?
Okay, so what he's doing by stalling, a lot of people's opinions in this moment is that he's stalling to make up a story for why he is there. And spoiler alert, the amount of time he takes stalling, I expected more. Like, I could have whipped up a better story than this, but the fact that it's so drawn out and he's familiar with it, like, it's just, again, nothing is boding well. And this whole, like, pulling teeth that, you know, is his strategy, we're just wallowing in nonsense.
It's Narcoosee. What's there?
And 192, there's a big intersection.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Winn-Dixie to the left. There's a Publix over there.
Publix comes up a lot in Interrogation.
Yeah.
I've never been in one because we don't have them out here, but I know of them because murderers go there.
Narcoosee and Winn-Dixie.
So keep in mind, he is trying to think of a story for why he is there because they can prove
what
it.
else is there? I can't recall the Winn-Dixie.
You're on 192, you're heading east, 15 crosses it. It's Narcoosee. Crosses it. There's a Winn-Dixie to the left, there's a little Taco Bell right there in the corner. Diagonally back there, there's a CVS, there's a strip, not CVS, there's a Publix strip mall. On the right, there's a 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Oh, hey.
I remember I went there one day because my friend, he needed gas.
Minute after minute of, describe it to me some more. Tell me what color the grass is. Where was the sun? And the story that his mind cranked out for him was, I had to meet a friend to give him some gas. And the problem is the detective has a follow-up question, and it sort of falls apart.
He came down, and I gave him some gas money.
What friend was that?
My friend in, where is he at now? Titusville, I think it's called.
Well, no, but what's your boy's name?
Expletives
Redacted.
deleted. But, again, here we are. Bam. One more instance of, who is your boy? Oh, he's in Titusville.
Not what I asked.
So he said he lives in Titusville?
Hey, at least he
it's-
didn't
so
say
he-
he went into
no,
the
Col-
Publix because they had cameras probably.
But yeah, but he was meeting him to get rid of a body. They're not going to go meet. Like, he's one of the few people who didn't buy his murder kit, like, at Walmart under all of their security cameras. So, you know, good on him for that.
Oh, see,
But here's the thing. Guess what most gas stations have because they get robbed a lot? Cameras.
excuse me.
He lives in
Coco,
Coco?
yeah.
Okay. So he met you at 7-Eleven because what?
He needed some gas. He was going through some hard times, and he needed gas money to go back and forth to work.
So he drove from Coco
Yeah,
to that 7-Eleven so you can give him some gas.
yeah. He had to go to work the next day. He came with his girlfriend, I believe, and he needed some gas money.
She was on the phone for a little while. I don't know what that was about. Anyway, probably unrelated.
What's the girl's name?
Oh, I don't know his girlfriend at all.
What did you say his last name was?
Boop.
How did he not know his friend's girlfriend?
So I guess a reasonable person would say, my man drove from Coco
Coco.
to there
Mm-hmm.
so you can give him some gas.
Yep, and he told me it was only like a 40-minute ride. He just
That is a lot of gas.
He told me it was just a 40-minute ride. 40.
It's
Like,
40 miles.
yeah, and that's, like insane. I used to work in the trade, so I am not unfamiliar with people needing to borrow gas money. I've never gotten a call from someone and we had to meet 40 miles from where they lived.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. If he is, because again, his story, again, getting the gas thing, he didn't think far enough ahead to the second question of he was 40 fucking miles away. Like, at best, like, let's say he's driving a Corolla, right? And he's getting 40 miles to the gallon. He's going to burn half, like, because he get, gas prices, we're in Florida. $50 to drive 40 miles one way?
Right. And then he's going to use that amount of gas back.
He needed to make sure he got to work.
That's an 80-mile round trip
And he brought his girlfriend.
to get gas that he's gonna need to get to work.
Yes.
That don't make no sense.
Hey, listen.
Hey.
So when you came for gas, I gave him the money. Matter of fact, he actually gassed up right there.
At the gas station you
My
met at?
God.
For the gas? Case
You didn't go to another
closed.
one?
Innocent.
At that gas station, yeah.
So if there's video, then we can we'll get
More than definitely, yeah.
All right. So what'd you do after that?
Interesting how here, where the video serves him, he goes, yeah, definitely. When obviously there's video of him doing other stuff, and he's like, no.
I don't know what cameras are.
Gave him the gas, and I drove back.
Why would you need to sit and think about that for so long? Like if I had to drive somewhere to fulfill an errand for a friend, and then I went home, why would you be like, okay, so I gave him the gas? Then I went home. That feels like you were telling the story of what actually happened in your head, just not out loud. And then you just finish it with, then I went home. Like it's a Homer Simpson thing. You said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud.
You drove back where?
St. Cloud. Oh, right there. By Rebecca. Well, you just got me at.
So you went from that settlement right back to the house, right? That's what you're saying?
I'm pretty sure.
Think about that, my man. Think about it.
I'm trying.
GPS.
Trust me, this is crazy.
Trust me, this is crazy. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I was at the gas station. Where did I go? It's so hard.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice right now.
This is good advice.
When you're talking about the rest of your life, you may want to be more than just pretty sure. So you may want to think about the answer you're going to give me.
Oh, man, my mind is scattered all over the place right now.
Do you remember what time you gave him gas?
Yeah, it was late.
What's late?
Real late. It could have been midnight, after midnight.
How much
He
you
works.
gave him?
I gave him about $40-50.
You don't know how much you gave him?
About 40-50
Was it cash?
Yes.
Untraceable, luckily.
Just for him to pump up gas, and that's it.
You didn't talk to him?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke, how's everything? He told me his girlfriend's going crazy, and
She
Is
doesn't
in
want
the
to.
car.
Yeah, his girlfriend don't want to move a body, and I got there's blood all over the place, and she's calling 911 and shit. I was like, come on, guys.
How about that you guys decided to do that?
what's that?
Go to the 7-Eleven there.
What's that?
Because he needed gas money. I wasn't going to him. He had to come to me.
He called you, said he needed gas money?
He texted me, and,
No, I don't. That's right.
he texted
why I'm
one
asking
day,
you.
said he needed gas.
One day. It wasn't
Yeah.
that day he texted you?
He texts me. He calls me a lot.
He can't even consistency. Like he texts me one day. What are we talking about? Like the lack of specificity in already established things that are established by him.
Yeah.
It just feels like so like the least amount of effort is just keep referring to the day in question, right? Don't just be like, yeah, one day, or it was a vague time period. Like maybe there were tricorn hats. It was colonial times, and he sent me a carrier pigeon. He needed gas, and it hadn't been invented yet. What?
20 year, 30 year,
Oh, so you know him that long?
Oh, yeah, I've been knowing him forever.
Forever? How long is it?
We went to high school together, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So you talking
Damn.
about 15, 20 years?
But you said you didn't hang out with anybody down here.
Yeah.
So that day, whose idea was it to meet there?
Well, originally, my idea was to meet him on Nova Road at the Shell. Yeah.
That's not an answer to that
The gas
question.
station was closed. And I told him, well, you're going to have to meet me either at Wawa or 7-Eleven. Then I realized 7-Eleven was closer than Wawa coming from the Nova Road.
Isn't it weird how now, realizing that it was a 7-Eleven, he can recall this shit? We went there instead of Wow Wow. But fucking 6 minutes ago, he was like, Narcoosey and the 92, my brain's so foggy. And now he's like, yeah, so here's the thing. I went there,
I know all the directions now.
whoops, and whatever.
So I just waited at 7-Eleven.
But was it out of the kindness of your heart that you called him to offer the gas, or did he call you asking?
Oh, no. I might have contacted him and told him, you know, if you still need gas or something like that, you know, you can come on down. Because he's a late person, you know, he works nights. He gets
who
off
cares?
around like 11. And, yeah.
So you called to offer up gas money.
Honestly, I can't remember the whole situation, but I did meet him there to give him gas.
And you said when
I don't remember the whole situation. I can't remember if I reached out to him to say, hey, man, how are you on gas in the car? Do you need anything? Can I help you out? I can't remember if it was that or if he asked me, but I do remember definitely giving him gas. It's just right before then, I couldn't remember, but I did remember not going to Wow Wow's and going to 7-Eleven. It's weird. It's got like a Nancy Brophy syndrome.
Yeah.
It's like a turnaround time of minutes where he's like, I remember that. And then, yeah, we got gas. And then I was home.
you guys were at the gas station, you guys talked?
Yeah.
Inside the car, outside the car?
We was outside, yeah. While he was pumping gas.
And what did you guys talk
Oh,
about?
yeah, of course.
I can't remember. Shooting the shit, you know.
Just shooting the shit.
Yeah, I know he was talking about his girlfriend. She was mad because she had to drive all the way down here just to get the gas.
See, now, if this were me and like he were clever and I was in this situation, like, oh, just shooting this shit, I'd be like, and in this case, is the shit Mr. Roosevelt because you found the CP on his computer? That what you were doing? Guilty. Confession, right?
Gas, and he should have had the gas money. He should have saved money, or, you know.
Rico, remember when I told you that part of the things that we try to do is try to figure out was somebody playing this shit out, premeditated, or
I do
it was
remember
just
that.
something that happened that was an accident, self-defense, or something. You know, two totally different types of people. It's basically the easiest way to put it is
Here we go.
you have a monster.
Bingo. Click that on your bingo card. Are you a monster? Or did you make a mistake?
I'm so close to bingo.
Are you a monster that made a mistake? I'm like this close. I can't win, obviously, because I'm running it. But one away. I don't know if it happens, but I don't want to tip my hand.
Or someone who made a mistake. That's probably the best way to explain it. So you tell me that you gave him gas, you guys bullshitted, he got gas, took off, you went back to the house.
And
did
are
not
you
go
a
back
monster
to the
for
house.
that?
I know for a fact you didn't go back to the house. Now listen, Rico, listen to me. You're not here just because we're trying to pin this shit on you. You're here because we know that you did it. Okay? Now this is what I'm telling you, man. You're here really as an opportunity to explain to us what happened that day. That's it. It was an accident, shit happened, I was pissed, he was pissed, I don't know.
Simple as that.
But it definitely would benefit you, because ultimately, for me, you know I'm going home at some point today, right? And chances are that you're not.
1, 2.
Me?
Yeah.
He's in a fucking Hannibal Lecter belt, and they have repeatedly insinuated, not accused, insinuated his involvement in a double homicide. And he's like, but me?
This is not good. I didn't do
No.
anything. I did not do anything.
You're gonna stick to that story. Just like that. Just like that. When I already presented so much shit to you that it should at least give you that doubt in your mind that, damn kid, you know?
I didn't
Damn,
do
kid.
anything. So, yeah.
Or you got your phone. You said it was phone calls, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help out a little bit.
Maybe. Let's see what
Did
happens.
you delete everything, or you still have it?
No, I didn't delete anything.
So the phone calls will probably help you out in this matter then a little bit more.
But here's the problem. I don't know if you use iPhone. Once you get to a certain thing on your recent history, it goes away.
It goes away.
You have to, I don't know how much history, but
Just like as a PSA for any and everybody, I realize that culture doesn't move as swiftly as like the advancement of technology, but I feel like a lot of people, him included, still feel like we're in the days where cell phone companies keep text for like a week because it's like we're still in the days of 3G and everybody's got like Nokias. But like terabytes of space are dedicated to saving everything you do all the time for like a year.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, God knows how long they're keeping these records, and for exactly this type of experience. And the fact that people are still like, yeah, I deleted it from my phone and it's only good for 30 days or whatever their misguided conception is. I mean, forget that you're being pinged every 15 seconds, but like, it's not like the phone company's like, well, we don't need to keep this anymore. Like, we haven't learned anything about the criminal justice system, nor have we ever been asked by law enforcement to keep records for more than a couple hours.
Permanently delete.
after a certain, like if you'll notice,
Delete all.
if you look at iPhone history, you'll only see like the last few recent days.
Okay. Well, maybe you can help. Like I said, man, I want to try to believe more.
I
what you're
want to
saying.
try to believe you.
And this is where we're at, where we talk about it, because there's some stuff that he knows more than I do.
Passing the ball off again.
But like an easy example is some phone stuff. I believe, is that right?
So vague.
Technology that's his
Oh my
forte.
god.
Okay. Why would all those things, phone, cars, video, why would that keep coming back to you?
It's a good question.
I don't know.
Somebody set you up?
I
Well,
don't know.
Is someone setting you up, my man?
I got bingo, but I don't count, right?
Oh, man, obviously. Because when you've got video evidence and all this other stuff, and you say, well, I don't know. It feels very Amy Day, too. Like she killed her mom, and there was, she did the exact opposite, where she claimed things happened, but there was no record of it, and her phone was on the fritz. This is shit that actually happened. He knows it happened, and is lying on the other side of that coin. Because everybody wants it both ways. Like, I did this thing, but it was never captured, or something was captured that I never did, and both of them are equally farcical.
Yeah.
Like, but whatever.
Did somebody set you up?
No, I don't think so. I
Alright.
don't know what's going
That
on.
explains that part.
I don't know what's
So,
going
like,
on.
You drive that car, I guess, your mom?
Which car?
The one that was rented that you talked about?
Yeah.
Did anybody else drive that car?
Maybe my mother one time.
Does your mom know where Mr. Roosevelt lives at?
No.
Who knows where Mr. Roosevelt lives at besides you?
That I know just me, really.
Huh.
So, you being a driver of that vehicle, you're the only one that knows where Mr. Roosevelt is at. There's every indication that that vehicle was there.
Okay.
How can you explain that?
I don't know.
That's what we can do.
Yeah.
That's actually where I honestly thought you were like a certified IT guy and maybe knew more than
No,
me.
only for.
He's pretty
like,
good, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. He's pretty good. Maybe he's the best technology cop I've ever seen, right? My partner knows it all. Yeah, this guy is my hero. Fucking salmon shirt over here.
He knows
God
how
bless
to
that
delete
man.
history.
He knows about technology. He saw the history. I'm going to let him do this.
But just that simple thing, you can't explain.
None of it.
What's that?
What's that?
Why would you, the only person who drives that vehicle that knows where Mr. Roosevelt lives at, would be at Mr. Roosevelt's house? How do you explain something like that?
But I wasn't at his house.
What I'm trying to figure out then, if it wasn't...
I fucking love Salmon Shirt Detective's sardonic laugh.
Yeah.
He does it in a couple. He's in a few interrogation videos on the internet, so I'm very familiar with his antics. And he does that several times. I love his I love when cops do that when they, because it's a little dramatic. Obviously, it's a little theatrical, but I think it really sends home a message. And
yeah.
not for nothing, because I mean, it is farcical. You have to laugh at this shit because it's like there's cookies all over his face. His hands are covered in cookie crumbs. There is a broken cookie jar at his feet. And yet, as he picks Oreo out of his teeth, no, sir, never took one.
You, the only person who drives that car, and maybe your mom, who doesn't know where Mr. Roosevelt at. What you're telling me is now that there's like a ghost that drove that car there.
Spooky.
Paranormal murder.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, I see what you're putting down.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, all the evidence does point to me. See, this blank spot is where you should be explaining it if you were innocent. But if you go like, oh, I see what you're saying.
If you could explain it better, maybe we'll have a better understanding.
Or at all.
And the same thing goes with what did you say, video stuff. Now, obviously the goal is to perhaps get the true side of what happened. Maybe you were involved in something.
No, I wasn't involved in anything.
So there's a lot of questions that you can't explain, give answers to, but and your only answer was I don't know.
I don't know if that second one was an affected voice to make fun of him or what, but it feels shamefully joyous, it's childlike, he's slipping into he was probably a bully at some point when he was a kid. I don't know.
This is crazy.
So,
believe me when I say this, if I'm ever falsely accused of a crime, my defense won't be oh man, this is crazy.
obviously we know that you go to Mr. Roosevelt's house, right?
Yes.
We know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were, I guess, a friend of the family we want to call, or an acquaintance, or even a business person. So, when it comes to DNA stuff, it's going to be common that your DNA is going to be there, right?
I guess,
Because you've been to that house.
Yeah.
Right, it's typical. What's the crazy part of it is there's a thing called, and I know you know because you're a computer guy, there's certain timestamps, right? So when you upload something, I guess, into a computer, I just learned this stuff, so I'm excited.
It's hilarious.
You upload stuff into a computer, it gets stamped, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right? Or when you,
I suppose.
you said something big where I learned too, history. All history is timestamped.
Yeah.
Right?
That'll show you your time.
You understand that now?
Yes.
Thank you for teaching me that today, sir.
This new stuff that I'm learning about, and he's like I say, he's a pro.
I'm so excited.
Everything has a timestamp. And you know what's crazy?
What is crazy?
Those timestamps
Okay.
says a certain date,
A
certain time.
Oh.
And they
Now
stamp
let me
it.
ask you this: can I manipulate those timestamps?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And a lot of geniuses in that type of business, you can't manipulate those timestamps, right?
No, I don't think so.
The image that this interrogation at this point conjures to mind is the idea what police want you to do is to dig your own grave and then pull the dirt in on you. He has dug so deep, but at the moment of truth where we go, aha, what do you say to that? He goes, I don't know. Like, he is so close to the Earth's core, he's in danger of melting due to the magma because he keeps digging and agreeing with all the stuff, right? You agree with this, and this. Now, can you explain that? And he goes, no. So he goes, yes. Each yes is another shovelful of dirt. And when, like, the culmination of, like, okay, pull it on you, they're having to, like, shout with a megaphone to the center of the earth at this point. He's like, nope.
So, help me understand a little bit more. Maybe, I guess, for him to understand too.
I mean, him. Think of him.
Why is all those timestamps pointing at one direction and only one direction?
I don't know.
Come on, man. Talk about him.
Dude, that's gonna
Chatterbait Billy
defense
says
for
he's going to
everything I
ask
don't
for
know.
a lawyer after signing his confession.
Hey, don't spoil it, Chatterbait. Come on, man. You show up this late and then spoil the whole thing? Not cool,
I
bro.
don't know.
Interrogation foul.
I really don't think you understand this. Okay, and I'm telling you, I don't think you understand this. Okay,
They keep saying that, and why? He obviously understands it. Maybe they're just attacking his intelligence, but everything is slid off of him like Teflon so far. I don't understand because they haven't attacked Legacy yet. Like, I mean, they did a little bit with like the monster thing, so like his appearance or whatever, but they're not like really hammering home like what are people gonna think and all that. Like, they're not attacking him as a person yet, which I guess, more power to them. They're really sticking to just the evidence, the fact that they have unassailable proof, so they don't really have to attack his character. But I mean, at this point, you have to try eliciting some sort of emotional reaction. Like, get in there and find out what makes him tick. But they're just like, okay, well, what about this evidence? And he's like, I understand what evidence is, and I agree that you probably have it, but no.
there's a difference of what you're looking at. There's a huge difference between, say it again, premeditation and then something else happening. That's why you're sitting in that chair right now, man.
I hear what you're saying. And
Because I think, no, I took back.
I know.
I know that I could develop premeditation on you.
I didn't do anything.
And you know what state you're in, right?
Yes.
Florida.
Okay? So you're going to tell me that you met at 7-Eleven to give him gas.
Yes.
Okay. How good of a friend is to you?
Pretty good friend. I mean,
Good enough that you can entrust him with personal stuff?
This segment we're about to watch feels very sleepover,
sort of,
slumber
in a
party.
way.
Is he good enough friends with you that he entrusts you with personal stuff?
I would say sort of.
You guys
like,
ever do each other's hair?
we know each other a long time, but we don't talk as often. Then we have spurs where we do talk for a while, and then we stop talking.
Oh, so wait, you guys are humans that go through oscillations in your relationship like every other human? What the fuck? Lock this guy up. He's insane.
So
He says personal, but what about secrets?
Ooh.
secrets.
Truth or dare
things
style?
that no one should ever talk about.
Secrets don't make friends.
That's hilarious.
What the
Like, would we talk like that?
Is there someone that you could tell a secret to?
I wouldn't say so.
Have you told him any secrets lately?
Okay. So, like in our last one, our Julia Soto interrogation, the word tickle became completely useless in the English language at the end of that. This one walks that line between like the gas section and here we are now. I mean, you can see obviously where we're going, but some of these words are going to lose all meaning.
I don't know. Not that I can think of.
Secret.
Lately, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been doing too good lately. I'm not,
Too good like what?
I
What does
don't
that
know.
mean, too
I
good?
don't know.
I don't know. It kind of. I don't
Listen,
know.
I want you to really think about what I just said. Really think about it. Okay?
Oh, he's been doing that.
Is he someone
Peter is
that
so
you
frustrated.
might have told a secret to?
Secret.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You should know that.
I mean, what do you consider a secret? I mean,
Killing somebody.
no.
No.
Listen, I have nothing to do with that. Like,
Why are we here? Why are we here, Rico? Have you told a secret? Have you played Truth or Dare? You ever gone to a friend's house and played Mystery Date and actually slipped up and told him he murdered a man because he had CP and then shot his wife too? On principle? No. Never. How dare you?
I have nothing. This is crazy. Come on now.
When he set you up?
Come on now.
I don't think so. I mean,
I learned a lot this week.
And he's really excited
About
about
this
it.
video stuff. You know, like the video surveillance stuff? And do you know
so
that
cool.
there's some video surveillance,
Oh,
you
God.
see video, but have you ever seen the one with video and audio?
They put them together?
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Say what?
Do you know what I'm talking about? You know, sometimes like the camera, right? Camera, video, you're aware. Sometimes you'll have sound, like talkies, came out in the 20s. You heard about these things? Some of them are even in color.
Do you think that,
Oh my god.
I guess, certain video and audio could have been captured where secrets were shared? Is that possible?
I don't know.
See, like, I've watched this a lot, and it still hits me like a freight train full of wacky dog toys because it feels like he's talking about the security cameras at the residence where the murder takes place. So not only do we have, like, because they wore masks and shit, they weren't, like, utterly stupid, but, like, if voices are instantly recognizable. So that's where I thought he was going. But then he takes a left turn to be like, oh, the person you met at the gas station, there might have been a camera that was attached to some sort of audio recording device there. Smell-o-vision. Oh, yeah. You know, they have, like, you could hear, see, and smell that. Like, Rico, you ever have any incriminating farts in your friend's car?
I want you to really think about it, okay?
Seriously,
I-
Rico,
listen,
think.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I'll be straight up with you. And I don't owe anything at all. You know, I don't know him. You know, but I know a little bit about him, and I know he's done some stuff too. He's had issues in the past. Now you're saying that he's having issues now. Are you talking about like financial, personal, or what?
To me, it kind of looked like he's using drugs right now. That's what it kind of looks like, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't, you know.
So, uncharacteristically, this is a fairly strategic move on Rico's part. Because if he can, for whatever it's worth, and this is a pathetic attempt, but if he can undermine the credibility of his co-conspirator at this point, you know, you'd be like, oh, he's on heroin or on meth or he's doing speed, and be like, yeah, he's telling you things because he's crazy. Like he's using some sort of psychedelic and he's telling you a wild story. So it seems bizarre to pull it out here in the 11th hour when the slaughter rule is taking effect. But at least it's a tactic that isn't, you know?
Doesn't look too good, and
Like where he's like fiending, or
I mean,
just high all the time, or
I don't think he's high all the time, but I don't know. He just, it's different with him. I don't know. It just seems like he's using drugs, and
does he know?
This is so clunky. I still to this day, having seen it halfway, expect them to be like, yeah, when we were in high school and he'd get high, he'd falsely confess to covering up murders. Like, that's how clunky this is. Well, whatever.
Mr. Roosevelt?
no, I don't think so.
You know, does he know anything about him?
No, I don't think
Have
so.
you ever talked to him about Mr. Roosevelt?
I I don't think so, no.
No, at all. Period.
Do not think so.
No. Okay. So, you know we have the ability to find things out about phones.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man. Technology.
Do you not think we
That's why we're here.
already looked into yours?
More than likely, yeah.
No. And you think we're gonna find something in there?
No.
No. How about shit that contradicts some of the answers you've already given us?
Like everything.
Because P.S.
Yes,
deleting
the
something off
answer
your
would be
phone
yes.
is
Okay.
meaningless. Like, let's say outside of the phone company keeping a record of everything you've ever done, watch one episode of Forensic Files and everybody will tell you, like even the kids of like the blood spatter analysis, interview them and they'll be like, yeah, when you delete something from any electronic device, it goes nowhere. It's just marked as free. It's still there. I'm no, service call specialist where, I bring over Norton and McAfee and get some guy's viruses that he got off his computer while surfing the CP channels. But a casual glance at reality will inform you that this is the case.
Because I've already found a bunch of contradictions.
Duh.
Okay? But you're gonna sit here and continue to lie.
But I'm not lying.
That shows your character. And it shows kind of lack of remorse, lack of
But I'm not.
sympathy.
It's not that. I'm here in cuffs. I didn't do anything, and this looks like a real bad situation because it's like you're telling me I did something that I didn't do, and
Really?
it's a lie.
And
Really? Okay.
Do you
see, that's the thing. Each personal attack they try and do, attacking his legacy, attacking his integrity, it feels like peas being shot out of a straw at like a minivan. Like they're just bouncing off. And if you put some juice behind it, maybe you could pierce it. But every attempt is like a 1 or 2 and done where they go, are you a monster or this or that? You have no remorse. And he's like, nah. Like, if you're going to crack open that nut, hammer it home personally, because all of the here or there is like, are you a monster? It's more of like a first date question in tone where you go, hey, I'm a Sagittarius. Are you a monster?
besides Mr. Roosevelt, do you know anyone else?
No.
His family?
No. I don't know his family.
At all?
You know.
His family? No.
I don't know if he has kids, children, grandchildren. So I don't know. I'm asking you.
I think he has a son
Okay.
that he mentioned.
Okay.
I don't remember how or if that's important.
Family? No, I don't know his family.
I don't
Do you
think
know
it
his
is.
son's name?
No.
Have you ever met his son?
No. I know he said his family lives up north. His children or his child or whatever.
I'm sorry. Just had to ask.
So your conversations with were interesting, especially on the 9th.
I need help hiding
That
a
day that-
body.
A lot of shit happened. 9th, 10th was crazy for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The day you met at 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are texting about murder.
So when you left 7-Eleven, where did you go?
Pretty sure I just went straight back home.
You're pretty sure?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't stop
yeah.
for gas. I didn't need gas.
You were at the gas station.
I didn't stop for gas on the way home from the gas station. So I checked that off mentally. I was like, nope, don't need that. Not going to do it. And that's why I'm telling you, detective, because I made the choice not to get gas.
Really good choice.
And
Didn't
if
get
I'm not
gas,
mistaken,
didn't tell
I
no
had to take
secrets.
my girlfriend to work. Yeah.
Go home with you?
No.
He didn't follow you out?
No. To my home? No.
Out of the parking lot. Because he lives in Cocoa, so he'd be going the opposite direction of you.
Well, I don't know where he's, like I said, he's a night person, so him and his girl could have been going wherever, but I know he needed gas.
Did you talk to him after that? After the gas station?
Yeah, I think so. I think I did.
Did you call him? Did you text him?
Were you at the same house cleaning up a body?
Jeez.
I don't remember offhand, and maybe this is true, maybe it's not, it doesn't matter, but oftentimes, like, when the person after the fact is called in, like, they're often left traumatized because, like, he did the murder, right? And, like, they always call a buddy to help, and I don't know what they're expecting, but, like, 9 times out of 10 when they show up to help, they're horribly scarred because they immediately are out of their depth because now there are 2 bodies, and now you are completely entangled in it.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely, I want to say that was what was happening with the dude, but it was definitely happening with the woman who called 911. Like, she had problems after they had to go do this.
I'm sure.
And obviously, right?
Probably, yeah.
Probably what?
I probably texted him.
Probably texted him? You don't remember if you called him?
The question was, did you call or text? The answer, probably. That's one or the other.
Maybe.
Probably wasn't on the menu.
Do you remember having a conversation with him prior to him getting to the 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Something about
Yeah, I
gas.
think so.
Yeah, they had to talk about getting gas.
You did. What are you guys talking about?
Gas.
Bullshit. His girlfriend.
That's a rough one too.
Gas
That's a rough
secrets.
one.
I'm going. Only if you know, like, I'm talking
There's
to
that
people
stress
day to
left.
day, so it's like, I can't remember the exact conversation.
He's a 35-year-old living at home, doing service calls, mostly, according to his story, fixing washing machines. But he's still talking to so many people. He can't remember a conversation he had with a friend that he is close with and has had a relationship for 15 or 20 years. And he goes, I talked to so many people. But my best friend, he just slips out of my mind. Somebody asked me if I wanted extra guac on my burrito bowl. Whoop, forgot about my friend.
But he's on drugs.
So, and that's the same thing you said about the conversation you had at the gas station while he's pumping gas.
Like I said,
Just a
that
repeat of
was
that?
just shooting the shit. He was just telling me about how his girl was angry that he didn't have gas, and
The girlfriend didn't want to be involved in moving the 2 bodies, and she was traumatized, and whatever. Women, am I
I
right?
don't know. And he kind of, I don't know. It just looked bad. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it looks bad.
Well,
Definitely.
As bad as this situation right now looks for you?
Apparently, I don't. Oh man,
Yeah.
this is just, yeah.
Man, let me tell you. I got an arrest warrant for you and charging you with murder.
Me?
Yeah. And guess what?
Me?
The opportunity was there, my man.
It was
The
so there.
opportunity was there.
Hmm.
So, based on all
I
the
didn't
stuff.
murder nobody though. I wouldn't murder nobody. I did not murder. I would not take a life.
How about 2?
Huh?
What?
How about 2?
To what?
To what?
In regards to what, may I ask? 2?
2 people.
2 lives of innocent ass, old, law-abiding,
I would not.
God-fearing people.
Old people.
Okay. I don't know why he says that. Because of the CP, right? 2, I get old ass. Yeah, sure, they're old. 2 old ass God-fearing people. And keep in mind, the wife knew, I don't know if she was implicit in the ingestion of the CP, but she definitely knew about it. So the fact that he's going to throw a hand up on Rico's shoulder here and be like, these poor old people, completely innocent. Oh, God. 2 pillars of the community, snuffed out in their prime.
Fantastic Planet. TCAP voice again. What? No
What?
way.
No way. Yeah, Rico was just trying to get to the beach. Just trying to get to the beach.
I would not.
I need you to explain that day a little bit better than.
Oh,
Good Lord.
man, I don't know.
Just tell us the truth, okay? Tell us honestly.
I'm telling you the truth.
Look. Just like you said, we worked our asses off, man. And probably just as much as you did.
We learned about the history.
When I say that, it's because
I found out what a timestamp was, man.
Man,
I gotta thank you for
we're not
that.
gonna
was a
call
good
you
day.
stupid. But there's certain things that you did to try to avoid being that stupid guy.
And here you are with the
Unfortunately,
IQ of a
those
sponge.
Acts or actions that you've done were easily traceable, tracked you down. You don't get what happened this morning by accident at your house, right?
It's true.
I know.
So, just like I explained to you earlier, and he explained to you earlier,
We both did.
there's always two sides to the story. The one that we got is pretty good because I told you it's timestamped. But I'm
pretty good.
sure, I know for a fact that you have your own story. I know that for a fact already. It's if you're willing to release that story.
So this is another part of the read technique. You're keeping up with the egghead part of this shit. When you offer them a chance to take control of the narrative, they say, well, we've got half the story, but the most important part lies with you. You can take control. We saw it with Sherry Papini. Everybody is offered. It comes along with the opportunity, right? It's the opportunity. It's the time. It's the place. I've been doing this for so many years.
I'm surprised neither of them have said, I've been doing this for 15 years.
Well, because he implied it by saying that he's been in this chair thousands of times.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it's not overt, so it
I
doesn't
want
count.
you to understand me. You know why? Because I can go. He taught me a lot.
My
We
best
can
friend.
literally go minute by minute
Seriously.
Yeah.
of what occurred July 9th, 2018.
They had cameras.
The
with
day
audio.
that you said was even crazy for you. You want to know why? Because that's going to be the day that you're never going to forget in your whole life.
This is hilarious.
Whether you're at home, whether you're in jail, you will never forget that day ever. No matter what I say, what we do, that day is going to be imprinted like a timestamp in your brain and in your heart
It's in your
July
history,
9th.
man.
forever.
These are his new favorite words.
Forever. And when you might be
After this interrogation, he quit to join the cybercrime
Yeah.
squad.
Oh, I
And
do
he was
computer
immediately
crimes.
kicked off because it was like a kid with a propeller hat.
confused because it was late, but it's going to be that day, hours before you met up with, so I can refresh your memory even more. That day, you're never going to forget. You know exactly what happened, when it happened. You know more detail than anyone could imagine. You made a decision.
That anyone
that
could
day.
imagine. What a weird turn of phrase. You know more detail than anyone could imagine. Like, as if we're in a land of make-believe, and this isn't referring to a horrible double murder that is based on blackmail over CP. Use your imagination in the land of make-believe. Like Daniel Tiger's going to show up with Trolley.
To do something. It's clear and day.
Clear and day.
Where you messed up was, you didn't track your steps that well.
Track them.
What steps? What are you talking about?
I already had told you. I'm gonna repeat it, okay? I can repeat it.
I've done nothing but.
Your
and he.
phone. Alright? Your phone is timestamped for every little thing you do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't
That's
it be?
your phone. Nobody else's phone.
Phone is
The
like a
vehicle
lover.
that you drove. That's timestamped. Only you know where Mr. Roosevelt lives.
Huh.
Camera system.
It's like,
That's timestamped.
it's all coming together, but to
It's
what?
awesome.
Me?
Meeting locations, phone calls. I could go on and on. I'm not going to tell you that. The idea is to get the story from you.
I have no story.
Because it boils down to this. All that he says boils down to one freaking thing that I said already. It boils down to you planned this hard freaking cold-hearted murder, or your intentions were something else, something went wrong that day, and them two ended up dead.
Whoops.
That's the one I think, but you think the other.
I telling you, the way that you're acting, your answers compared to what we've told you, and we've told you more than we normally tell people. Because
I like
you. We don't have
you.
to do that. Everything comes back to the fact that you're a freaking stone freaking cold killer.
Freaking.
No.
And you know who's gonna see that, right?
So here's the thing. That sentence needs to have a poison, razor sharp barb at the end of it. Because when you say something like that, it means you know what's going to hit them the worst. Like, you know who's going to see that, right? And then you go, pow, the one person, the Colonel Russell Williams interrogation when he, with Jim Smith. Colonel Russell Williams did not want his wife involved. He did not, and that was the sticking point. He said, hey, he was looking out for his wife. I don't want my wife, blah, blah, blah. So he said, you know who's going to find out? That's the time you would use that.
Mm-hmm.
So you pull an ace out of your sleeve and be like, you know who's going to find out? Ba-da! What does he have in his deck? Let's find out.
Who you know who's gonna ultimately see that? Everybody.
But I'm not.
You know who's going to see that, right? Everybody. Really takes the wind out of the sails, right? You know who's going to see that? You know exactly who's going to see that. The single everybody.
He
What?
said like his girlfriend.
Like, yeah, hit him where it hurts. This is just like, you know who's going to know that you're guilty? Literally everyone, because it'll be common knowledge. Ah! What?
Yeah, he could have been like your dad, and what do you think your business is going to happen, and blah, blah,
Right.
blah.
But that good on them. They're not good at personal attacks, so it must not come up a lot.
I wouldn't do something like that.
The world.
The
I
whole
wouldn't do
world.
something like that.
God, everyone, including the world?
I just said it, and you know what? I'm gonna prove it.
I just said it.
I'm gonna prove it.
You can't say that.
Proof is in the
Not do
technology.
anything like that.
Is there going to be anything in that house that is going to support you or support us?
Okay, this is a soft one, but I'm going to file this under, is there any reason that? Is there any reason that, or is there anything that, with this open-ended question, that will definitely, I mean, not that this needs any more evidence, but like, like this is a cherry on top of a cherry on top of a cherry. Like, is there anything else that, like, maybe there's a little extra whipped cream we somehow left off this Sunday?
I don't know what you mean.
What I'm saying is that is there anything in that house
I don't know what you mean.
that A, perhaps doesn't belong to you,
Hmm.
B, that there's something in that house that you might have used or touched during this incident? I mean, I could just keep going.
But I'm not gonna.
What if there's stuff in your house that belongs to Mr. Roosevelt?
Oh.
Is that possible?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess we have to go baby steps or whatever. I really don't know. We have to go baby steps, but
At this point, baby steps is like 3 steps up. This
Yeah.
is the equivalent of a dead slug on a hot plate.
Mm-hmm.
We can go baby steps. You would have to kick it up so many gears. Baby steps is relatively light speed to what we are experiencing. Like, this is the heat death of the universe compared to baby steps.
I can tell you, I'm done going baby steps with you.
I understand.
I am. And you know, ultimately, it's a person's decision. It's an individual decision.
It's up to you,
which way
man.
we want to take this. Okay. Unfortunately, you're the one in that position, not me. Okay. And you can sit here and say 1,000,000 times, I don't know, wasn't me, but I can prove it. All right.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, right? But this looks bad. Can I see a lawyer, please?
yeah.
Can you fucking believe it? This is looking bad. He's been sitting there hour and 22 minutes.
And now it looks bad.
This is looking bad. They got to get a lawyer. So I guess we can count that as
Should I get a lawyer?
should I get a lawyer to see if anybody gets a bingo? Aside from Krista, goddamn, I could have 3 places I could have got a bingo. And this one was so juicy and rife with cliches.
There were, let me look at my thing. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 plus the free space. So 12 were marked off.
Yeah, one day, God willing, we will get a bingo. Because, and you could not have given, out of central casting, right? He's playing the dumb card. They've got nothing but evidence. And we just tiptoe and dance around it with this guy. And obviously, hello, they had so much evidence. The friend, sung like a canary. The girlfriend of the friend sung like a canary. There was evidence all over the goddamn place. And it is what it is. But holy crap. I recommend you watching this without me talking over it, because there's so much to go. No bingo there either. Crap. One day, this isn't like auction casino bingo where you're guaranteed to win. So
I think
far,
we need to do Sarah Boone.
yeah, at some point, because there are so many that are so juicy, and the Sarah Boone one is hilarious, and I love name dropping her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, thank you if you sat through all of that or even part of it. I appreciate it, you sitting here with me and going through this, because I love watching this recreationally, and any chance I get to sit down with other people and talk about it, I love. I hope you liked it too, and sort of wetting your whistle for maybe doing this on your own. But if not, hey, I'll always be here to talk about it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Do we need to plug anything? Again, by Slothfist on the record, Mind Power Records. That's the new record. Check it out. Yeah, I guess that's it. We've got some big ones coming up just to wet your whistle. The Mark Twitchell one is coming up. We've got some more TCAP stuff in the mix coming up here soon. Mm-hmm. Plus, with all my other shenanigans, I realize this channel has no cohesive theme. And that's probably why no one can get a read on it, but it's all fun. So we're just going to keep doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is it. I hope you had a good time, and I hope we can see you next time on another episode of this show. What?
Bake Salmon's going to be on the next live. Next Friday's live. Okay,
so yeah, Nathan Donauer, that is definitely coming up next week.
Yep, the Friday the 11th.
Mark your calendars. Yeah, another TCAP. That's the whole processing on the back end. And, I mean, come on. TCAP is, it's like eating frosting straight out of the can. It's a little too decadent, but we got to keep doing it. Anyway, guys, I will catch you later. It has been very fun. Good night, Tony. Good night, Kayla. Chatterbait Billy, if you're still there. Fantastic Planet. Always a pleasure. We will catch you on the next one.
For this